Greetings, gentle beings, and welcome to episode 3 of Twin Suns, Axis, and Rationalize, because puns. And we're here playing Star Wars Saga Edition in the Old Republic era, post the Old Republic MMO, before a lot of other things that happen. Sometime around 3000-ish BBY, 634 after the Treaty of Coruscant, and we have a lot of paranoia in this group who have gathered together on the planet Alderaan as a neutral, peaceful meeting place in the tensions that are rising between the Axis along the Prolimian trade route and the Greater Republic as a whole, as disputes as to who is able to colonize the borderlands have caused some tempers to rise. But this task force has been brought together to investigate who might be trying to thwart the attempts at peace between the factions, as there has been a recent droid attack by serving droids during the Alderaan Peace Summit. And so our intrepid adventurers, Phegris Lear, Mina Obriv, Cassis Drake, Zalon Far, and JWD000 have acquired a repaired vessel that once belonged to Zalon's former captain, and perhaps are going to head out into the greater galaxy this session. Who knows? But that is where we have last left our heroes, as we pick up with all of you the day after the droid attack on the
Wookiees.
What would you all like to do, or have done in some cases?
We're still on our way back from picking up the droid from detention, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, I think it's a good. I think this is a good time to figure out what Cass has been doing for the last 36 hours roughly.
All right, we will sidewipe and perhaps reverse in time to Cassis. After the attack, and you had all been introduced to the droid that was sort of gifted to your task force by Prince Jonash of Corellia. I had mentioned that you had been off conversing with Master Silverblade, the Jedi Master newly appointed to the Council, who had come to attend the Peace Summit here. If you wanted to have done anything else, or to have covered any sort of specific topics during that time, what do you got?
Mainly just what are the leads we have so far, other than trying to find Jedi Master Bill Murray, because I don't remember his name.
Just kind
of jogging your memory, because we're 36 hours and we're about roughly 36 hours in the past now. You, when the last time you were here, you wanted to talk to the Mandalorian.
Yeah, let's forget about him for the moment.
That's good.
Okay.
He's gone, but yeah. Well, he would have been on his way out at this time, but yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to remind him that, even though I knew that was going to go nowhere.
Fair enough.
Yeah, but I was interested in talking with Master Silverblade about researching any leads that she may have just had come to mind.
Well, as you inquire of this with her, she takes you aside into an alcove in the palace, as we had mentioned, and informs you, in truth, Cassis, I'm not sure how much I can aid in your investigations without coloring the findings that you might discover. If there's any sense of foul play that the Jedi might have been leading you towards an outcome.
So you have to leave me on my own because it's a conflict of interest?
And also because it seems very mysterious, as masters are supposed to do. But in all seriousness, Cassis, I think you and the others are fully capable of exploring what leads you may have. The droids you have investigated, and there are happenings across the galaxy that I believe may be tied to the attack here.
So we just go to the site of that one space battle and see what we can dig up. That seems to me to be the only way we can figure out what's going on.
That would be somewhere to start, yes.
All right. Well then, that's all I got.
All right. She does give you a bow and says, "May the force be with you,
And
even
with
if
you.
I cannot be."
Fair enough. And then I guess I go off and everybody's already left.
Not the planet, but they had returned to the ship anyway.
Oh, that's fine. So I
On the way
guess I find a room and take a nap.
Okay. There are many rooms on board the Visari, as it is a very large ship.
much like the droid, how did you get on my ship when I wasn't there?
What? Wait, me?
Yeah.
So are we just retconning that like the night we stayed at like the at the ship that he was also there?
Oh no, I was assuming that you guys were off somewhere else on the planet getting the droid, and then I
Yeah.
was just
So basically, so last session we went back to get the droid. We did some we did some like pre-planning. We went to the ship, had a very long, lengthy discussion that went into the night. We slept on the ship. We got up and met some of the delegates the next morning. So I think
was thinking about staying in like a random bed in the palace,
Oh, yeah, go for
and
it.
then just patching it up that way.
Yeah. Senator slash Prince Ural would hook you up with a room if you wanted just somewhere to crash and or meditate, if you put it that way. Like, of course,
I'll
give
just
you.
sleep.
Okay.
More productive for me.
you'll have an easier time meditating there than in the ship anyway.
Yeah.
All right. Then we head back forward in time as the rest of the group has conversed with everybody they wanted to. Maybe Phagris, if you wanted to talk to anyone else. But
Okay. See, I want to do this thing, but I want to brief the rest of the team on what
Okay.
I'm doing and why first.
all right. So in the interest of time, we'll say eventually, as the droid has been recovered, Cassis makes his way over to the Visari. All of you are able to convene at the ship and
When I get
figure out
back
your
to
next
the
course of action.
Vasuri, when I get back to the Vasuri, do I see dents in the door in the cargo door from the droid banging on it?
I mean, if a little, like even a Juggernaut war droid probably couldn't make a huge dent in Durasteel, like the plating of a ship, but there might be like some scuff marks.
Okay.
Not a scratch on her.
All right. So I guess you get back. We inquire as to what you've been up to for the last day and a half.
Sleeping.
The laziest Jedi of all time.
Sleeping, really?
You guys didn't seem to need any help, so I just figured I might as well grab your winks.
Mm.
So what are we doing? Are we gonna just head out now?
About that,
Oh no.
I've been thinking.
Oh no, this is good.
So to catch you up, I'll let Zaylin say this because he says it best, and I do. We're actually let's get somewhere a little more a little less noisy if we're outside the ship to discuss this.
Yeah, I unlocked the door and we all go inside.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think Zaylin can sum up some of our concerns a little better than the rest of us, as he's the original that brought it up, and I agree with a lot of what he's saying.
All right. So
Yeah, that's you.
we're gonna come across this Jedi Master at some point. If it's what I believe and this Jedi Master is behind it, we're gonna confront him directly. If it's not the Jedi Master that's behind it, someone has captured him or something to that effect, and we're gonna face the people that captured him, which is an even bigger risk. And
Right.
what I see on the team is is a ship designer who basically said someone unlocked the doors to the to the patent office. So people aren't happy about him. We have a very senior Jedi Padawan that unfortunately is very close to being transferred to the Auxiliary Corps. We have a very junior Jedi Knight that just had a very visible argument with a master on the council during a diplomatic meeting. We have a disarmed war droid, and we have myself, who is a nobody mechanic who just basically pissed off the galaxy. They're saying the Jedi came and attacked. It was at the will of the Chancellor. And apparently Axis had some kind of plan with that message that didn't include me blurting it out. So this seems like a perfect excuse to get us all out of the way.
So let me clarify. It was not an argument. It was more of an emphatic clarification on the issue. But I do see the hole in the plan that you guys are saying we should have. Realize that taking in a rogue Jedi Master isn't exactly going to be easy.
Exactly. This is not the team that would be capable of doing that, I would assume.
My plan is
you have not been ordered to bring in the Jedi Master. You've been ordered to investigate him.
Yeah, we're investigating all leads. If
a disembodied voice in the clouds just said to us, right, yeah, we're not meant to apprehend him, just to figure out what went wrong and to report back. I mean,
you don't think we're going to come across to him at some point, whether him or
that we might, but that doesn't necessarily mean that we have to start a fight with him.
Yeah, and if anything, I don't think that he's because we decrypted. You weren't around for this, but we did decrypt that and just analyze that that holotape, and it did seem like, although he did say those words, that they have been somewhat spliced and taken out of context. So at this point, I don't believe, if we do in fact have a rogue Jedi, that he is complicit in the fact that he is a rogue Jedi, so to speak.
Which makes it worse. That means someone has done something with this Jedi Master from the council.
Or they're framing him.
Or you're saying somebody else is controlling him somehow?
If it's not the Jedi that's behind it, it's someone who's gotten this Jedi and got him out of the way so he's not aware that he's being used, or they've done something to get the Jedi Master out of the way. So
There's
not publicly.
There's some conspiracy going on. We don't know who is organizing it, but nothing about this situation seems correct. Now, I have a plan that we can start eliminating variables in where and who we can and can't trust. So,
care to elaborate?
So everyone and their mother at this point knows pretty much that the next stop is going to be Brental for us. We have two theories on what is and what the purpose of getting us out of the way. One is to get us out of the way of and put us into a wild goose chase so that we don't mess with whatever is happening. The second and far nefarious one is to eliminate us permanently. And I think I have a way on how we can start eliminating variables into who could be out to eliminate us permanently. What I propose, and I've already been working towards this, is that we do in fact make Brental our next stop, just as everyone thinks we are. We gain nothing by hiding that, and we give them nothing by telling them that, as we already have. But we set bait on if people want to take us out, of giving them prime opportunities and windows to do so when they think we're not ready.
By taking out, you mean killing us?
Precisely.
That's good because we have a brand new engine and I wanted to test it out in the system first. And to do that, I was going to go the outer edge of the system where there aren't very populated, and I was worried about being a target for whoever was coming for us. But if we're going to lay that as a trap,
I see a flaw in the logic here. The idea that our rogue Jedi Master is somehow being controlled would then somehow just come out and then violently execute us for investigating doesn't seem like
Well,
a very good mode of
not
operation.
necessarily
They
control,
would
but
probably misdirect us in
somehow-
some way or use
someone,
us.
in my opinion, we have 5 possible candidates for people who are involved in this conspiracy: the Corellians, the Alderaanians, the Republic, the Axis, and the Jedi Order.
It's
I think
definitely not the Jedi Order, so that leaves 4.
I think we can eliminate 2 of those variables as
if
well.
that's the case, if it's not the Jedi Order, why did they not send a Jedi Master on this very important mission,
Because
which was right there?
The
honestly,
council could be
if they were to
playing
send one
you.
of their own with a higher rank, then they would be seen as manipulating the evidence to lay blame anywhere else. So of course they had to assign me as well as Mina to this in order to allay more suspicion.
So let's start with my plan, the micro jump. I do agree that we need to test out the hyperdrive to make sure it's not possibly tampered with. However, I disagree that we jump into an unoccupied zone. I think instead we jump to an occupied planet, because we do essentially a smuggler's jump. But instead of jumping to nowhere, we jump to somewhere. The reason for this being is that
most flight controls don't like micro jumps in populated areas. That's why I wanted to do it on the edge of the system.
No, well, let me get to that. We will have business at whatever planet we choose to micro jump. But if we jump in and our hyperdrive goes kaput, it's the easiest way to get rid of someone because they're in the middle of nowhere with no help. If we jump in system, or not in system, but around the system, and our hyperdrive goes kaput, we're there, and there's other people there who can potentially help us, especially if we don't tell anyone that that system is our destination. They won't know where we're going. Now, why do we go to the city?
Wouldn't it be more productive to just jump directly to Brental then?
No.
We still got to do a
'Cause
micro
that's-
jump because it's a brand new engine. I need to test it out and get it settled.
We can't go directly to Brental because we need to pick up something at this neutral system in order to lay the trap. And that something is weapons, discrete weapons, weapons that we can hide on us so that we can appear unarmed. Now, you weren't here for this, but I did negotiate with our Corellian delegation to have us in wherever system we go to, whichever Corellian arms manufacturer is there, to help us procure weapons without a license. I specifically told him that we are severely underarmed and are looking to get weapons. We still make that deal, but they don't know if we're going to Coruscant or Brental first. So they can't station people at either system. We'll have to make system first. And then once we're on system, we contact the contacts at Corellian Arms saying we are looking for weapons. If the Corellians are if the Corellians are behind the conspiracy, they will know that we are going to the Corellian arms manufacturers to purchase weapons because we don't have weapons of our own. It's the prime time to ambush us, but our stop off before will get the discrete weapon. So if they do ambush us, we will be ready. And if they do ambush us, then we know there's a mole in the Corellians. Now, how do we get the other ones? We can also do the same thing with the Alderaanians, but different. We can go to the center.
I don't think it's the Alderaanians. I had a talk with the prince, and he's more concerned that his family is going to be out of power in a year, rather than anything galactic-wise.
Right.
So, Zaylon, you underestimate probably the power of the lesser houses of Alderaan.
Precisely. And him not being in power in a year is a perfect motive to put on whatever conspiracy to maintain power. Those who want power are reluctant to lose it and all. But But here's how we get the Alderanians. I go to our senator friend and tell him that we are on our way to Brental, and that we have a large cargo vessel, and I'm sure there are plenty, Alderaan being the altruistic capital of the galaxy, of charities who were more than willing and wanting to send desperately needed supplies to the ravaged Brental system. We have a ship that can do so. We get him to load the ship with whatever supplies these charities want to send to Brental. And we tell them that we are going to Brental. We will do the offloading ourselves as we don't really have a crew. I'll also let him know that... What was that?
I was thinking about it. I was thinking about a way to make money was to do cargo as we moved along. But
well, yeah.
The issue was we were gonna have to have them unload at site. I mean, we don't have the crew to unload it ourselves. There's an amount of cargo that we're gonna be carrying that can fit in this vessel is more than a few of us can unload. It has to be unloaded by the
precisely, Precisely, and that's what I'll let him know, that we can't exactly fill our cargo bays. We can only take as much cargo as the 5 of us can handle, but specifically that we will be the ones offloading the cargo, and also specifically that before we do anything else other than offloading the cargo, we are also going to be purchasing weapons. So again, there's a mole in the Alderaanian delegation. They'll know that we'll be in the hangar bays, offloading cargo, and then purchasing weapons. The best way to get us is while we're offloading cargo. And again, we will already have purchased weapons at our neutral planet so that if they do attack us, we will be ready.
I have a way to get the Axis. I was planning on sending messages to my Moncal contacts and find out about this Juju passage and try to work from there. And if this passage exists, the Axis of clearly is insisting that it doesn't, that would mean there's a mo on the Axis powers.
And that'll be good to know as well, because assuming none of our traps are sprung, and we know we can at least trust the Corellians and Alderaanians not to kill us, then the Axis would be the next on the list, as while they... they've been given a golden opportunity to take the situation into their own. They haven't taken it, which does look like they're not involved in it. But also, this could still be a long play. And finally, this is a trap that I've already set as well, but a trap that we don't actually need to have spurred. I made an inquiry into the Chancellor to look into my former employer. Truthfully, I don't have any interest in going to there because I don't think there's anything we can find about Republic fleet systems that they haven't already locked down at this point. But now that we have the feelers out there, the Republic fleet systems know, if they're involved in this, knows we're onto them. We can monitor their not necessarily their movements, but their actions. And if we start seeing things that they are trying to make a cover up of anything, or we see anything out of the ordinary, then we know that there's someone there that's involved in this conspiracy as well.
All right.
So that is my harebrained scheme, even though
You have no hair, you're a Bith.
Yeah, I'm well aware of that. I was trying to make an idiom that you humans could understand.
Well, probably airbrained if you Bith are very... Never mind. Anyway, Zaylon, there is another question that I have for you then. What makes you so concerned that your hyperdrive is going to give out?
It's a brand new refurbished engine. It's normal procedure with any new engine to put it through its paces before doing a large trip.
And if the Alderaanians are also out to get us, another possible point of concept that they could get rid of us is sabotaging our hyperdrive, as they're the ones that repaired it.
It's sabotaged. I went over it pretty thoroughly, but it's still normal procedure to test out and get the engine to settle before doing any long trips.
So then the closest jump that I can think of that actually makes the most sense would be the Kuat drive yards. Just if something were to happen with Zaylon's ship here.
But that's on the other end of the galaxy. That was on the other end of where we're going. If we're going to jump, we need to jump to make it look like we're heading to Brental. In that direction, there's 2 short jumps. Ka Mas, which is probably the only place where it's more difficult to get weapons than Alderaan, and Tapasi, which was originally colonized by Kuats and about 24,000 years ago, and maintains close relations. So we can, even there, even though they're not the Kuat drive yards, we can still get access to weapons and ship repair facilities while we're there. It's on the way, so that when we log our flight plan and we jump to Posse instead of Brental, it's close enough that they won't look too closely at it.
Fair
and
enough.
it doesn't delay us.
Well, sure. I'll agree to that. Mina, do you have anything to add?
Not much. I know the High Queen seems very interested in me, so I don't know if that's going to be useful or not.
Interested in you in what way?
Oh yeah, because you weren't here last time.
I was asleep.
Well, let's just say she's offered to be my patron. And
Patron of the arts?
helping me in society and stuff. She said something about taking me under her wing and helping me with other things.
That seems a little fishy, but it's not the first time a Jedi has been bribed by royalty.
Yeah, just outside the game, it was stuff like getting Mina a guy as well.
So I think in that regard, we can also, well, not necessarily ruling out that they're part of the conspiracy. If the Queen is such a emphatic relationship with our Jedi friend, I think if the Axis are behind this, she is definitely going to veto any measure to get rid of us permanently.
So then I only see 2 possibilities here, is that all of the players that you've already mentioned are in on some sort of game just to gain power over one another, or that none of them have anything to do with it.
Well, that's politics in general.
Yeah.
Isn't that the point of politics? To gain
Well,
power over each other?
Honestly, this is all superfluous. If no one's involved in this, or none of these 5 factions are involved in this conspiracy, then all we do is confirm that they're not out to kill us. We don't lose anything by doing this.
You lose time.
Not necessarily.
No,
So
actually we don't.
we gain security and
In which factions we can actually trust with our information. And again, I think this goes without saying, but if one of our traps is in fact sprung and we get out of it, we don't tip off to whatever faction that we're on to them.
All right. Well, I think we're all on the same page. Let's hit the lanes and make the jump.
Okay.
Yay.
And so I head up to the
Oh, actually, hold on. We need to negotiate with the prince.
yeah, you gotta get the cargo.
Yeah.
Okay,
So-
Do you want to do that over the comms before, instead of just going back and forth from the palace several more times?
Yeah, because this. Yeah, let me calm Prince Yorl.
well, we'll say he would have provided you with his frequency then. Yeah. Well. All right. You managed to give him a buzz on his personal comm link, and he responds. It'd probably be audio only at this point, as he's not feeling like seeing anyone. But yes,
Prince Yorl, this is Fagersleer. I have a proposition for you that I think you may be quite interested in.
by all means.
Well, as pretty much everyone knows, Alderaan is one of the more altruistic planets in the galaxy. And as you probably also know, we are currently on our way to Brental, which is currently recovering from an absolutely dastardly attack that they suffered. we actually have in our possession, I'm sure you know it by now as well, a fairly large cargo freighter. And while we probably, the five of us probably can't handle a full load of cargo, we can definitely take some much needed aid to Brental if you know of any organizations within Alderaan that are looking at shipping stuff there to aid in the recovery efforts.
Well, that is a very generous offer. I could definitely reach out. I have some contacts in such relief efforts. It may take some time. I was under the impression you were wanting to leave rather imminently.
Most of the information that we're looking for is just going to be on whatever records that Brental has. We're not too concerned about the Trill going cold in that regard, as I highly doubt they're going to purge all their sensor data in a day or two.
Well, then I suppose I have some calls to make.
Excellent. We'll keep in touch.
I'll get back to you as soon as I have information.
I'm gonna try to negotiate getting some credits out of this. Don't worry.
Sure. But just for the initial conversation there, just go ahead and make a persuasion check, just to see
Persuasion?
how, just to see how invested the prince is in acquiring cargo.
Well, I could have done better. That's a 21.
Okay. Well. There we go. Okay. Well, as it turns out, you acquire about 70,000 tons of cargo. You are supplied with appropriate lifter droids to help out with that much cargo. You have filled the ship.
How
You have
long did
filled the
it
ship
take?
with relief cargo.
How long did it take before we were notified that it was on its way?
Well, given we were still morning, I believe. So just early afternoon. By the time you're informed that there are multiple atmospheric barges coming in with cargo for you to transport.
In that time, I would have taken the Visaris out and just jogged it around the system for an hour or two, just testing out its sublight engines.
All right, just go ahead and roll a pilot check.
Okay.
I guess I'm on the ground negotiating, trying to negotiate at least some compensation for like fuel and tariff and duties and stuff.
24.
Yeah. You probably, not being the navigator or pilot for the ship, probably wouldn't have flown it too much before, but it handles really well.
No, I haven't, but I'm sure the whole crew was certified.
Yeah, it handles really well. It's honestly kind of
very
surprising.
well for a brick.
Yeah, this ship was technically totaled. That's why the company basically just wrote it off, and now it seems to be doing as good as ever.
All right. So that was just a couple hours. I would like to spend some more time just sending out messages.
Okay.
So I'm going up into the, I guess I was going to do it on the bridge, but I guess I don't have to do that on the bridge. Going up to the captain's quarters, initiate the computer to record the following message. Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. Given my last message and the recent Holo news, you might be a bit concerned for me. Yes, that was me at the Alderaan Palace, the Peace Summit. And yes, I'm unharmed. It was nowhere near as bad as it looked. After I scrambled their processors, those droids could barely walk and were easily handled by the guards after that. You must be wondering how your son came to be at the summit. We Fars are simple, hardworking people that have no business in galactic affairs. Well, you might think it was bad luck, seeing how I was the last member of the Vasari's crew still on planet when the Jedi came looking for witnesses. But it turned out it was the greatest bit of good luck in my life. I met my new best friend, Prince Roll. We became fast friends after I gave him pivotal information on the Rogue Jedi Master, Gora Marori. And his mother, Queen Asharla, must have been quite impressed with how I saved everyone at the summit from the droid attack. She repaired the Vasari and gave her to me. I am now Captain Phelan Far. As captain, I am now very busy running royal errands. Right now, I'm chauffeuring a bunch of hapless investigators charged with finding out the source of that mysterious fleet. It's obvious the Republic did this, but this group has no chance of proving it.
Very optimistic.
I have a bad feeling about this.
So as you can see, I'm quite busy. I'll likely be some time before I can calm you again. But know I am safe. Your son, Captain Zalon Far. I end the transmission, send it out, and I was like, hopefully that keeps him from worrying.
I feel like we're like in a Ken Burns documentary, you know, where it's hello, mother, hello, father.
All right. Next message I send to is the former crew of the Vasari to Yurdle Mild, Suvlai Mild, Malai Boom, Jev, Brawl, Gand, and Purig Fruit. And I'm going to give them the following message. Hey.
Oh,
Oh,
We
did
lose-
we lose him?
Yeah. What message? What's the message? Sorry, you
Yeah.
cut out, Bill. Can you rewind to the
Okay.
top?
So this is to the crew other than Moid Thar. Okay. You all left me holding the bag, didn't you? Well, the joke's on you. The Alderaan government fixed up the Vasari and made me captain. So, any of you sorry sons of Hunt, put your old job back. It's yours. That also means all that junk you took off the Vasari when you left still belongs to the Vasari since it wasn't scrapped. In addition, if you guys, you would all be doing me a solid if any of you know anything about the Juji passage. The Axis says it doesn't exist. All right, safe travels, my friends. Captain Zalon Far. I send that out to that crew, and I send the same message to Dre Charkali, Chakara, but with a postscript.
Okay.
P.S. Dre, I know you took the Nide, Scrap Heap, and Fusion Cutter. Those astromechs are registered to the Vasari and need to be returned since the Vasari wasn't scrapped.
Okay.
we're a very litigious group, aren't we?
Yeah. Zalon,
I got two more messages. Sorry.
well, first,
Can I
First-
barge in on one of those messages?
No.
not quite yet. Zalon, first I'm going to need you to, for the second message, that's going to be a persuasion check. It's going to be a
Okay.
higher DC because you were a bit abrasive.
They're my friends. Oh, great. I have terrible persuasion. Better roll good. 19.
Wow.
Okay. All right.
Terrible persuasion.
All
I have a modifier of 1.
All right. All right. Next message.
All right. I'm going to send this one to the first officer of the Vasari. Hello, Moid. I'd like to inform you the Alderaan government decided against scrapping the Vasari. And as the only crew left on planet appointed me captain, I'd like to offer your former position of first mate back. I believe you would agree I could use your help. Also, since the Vasari was not scrapped, Rust Bucket needs to be returned as it is registered to the Vasari. Sincerely, Zaylon Farr.
Okay. Go ahead and roll a persuasion check on that one too.
Okay.
We're gonna have so many NPCs.
That one's only an 8.
Okay.
All right, and then one last one to my my contacts with the Moncal.
Right.
Kamar.
Okay.
Let's see, where are they listed? I have them here. Rakla Kurdi, Yibla May, Usibli Pauls, and Weil Thyssen.
Okay.
Hey friends, I'm in a jam here. We could use your help. Real life and death stuff. Assume you heard about what happened to the Vasari at Brent Hall. Well, we somehow managed to lift into Alderaan, of all places. When the Jedi came looking for witnesses, I was the last crewman on planet. When you get this message, please holocom me ASAP. I'll cover the charges. Captain Zaylon Farr. I'm hoping those last few lines will pique their interest. I usually don't have money for holocoms.
Okay.
And I'm captain. That probably piques their interest too, I'm hoping.
Yeah. Go ahead and roll one more persuasion check.
All right.
Yeah.
5.
Okay. All right. So those are in play and will become relevant as things progress.
Okay.
Messages are sent. At this
Excellent.
point, 000, you, or at least probably try to barge into the room where Zaylon is writing sending off the transmissions and just sort of clunk into the door as I imagine he probably locked it.
I thought we had an agreement. We just had this conversation. Nothing?
Is anybody in there? I knocked twice.
Yes, 000. I was quite busy.
Give me. I thought I heard somebody talking to themselves.
I was sending out messages as I said I was going to do on the way back from picking you up, remember?
I forgot I had a glitch in my memory banks.
Do you want me to take a look at that for you?
No, I am fine.
Okay.
Listen, my intelligence is 10 with a -2 modifier. What do you expect? I'm prone to some glitches in my intelligence.
Wait, it's a -2 modifier at a 10?
Yeah, because of class 4 droid. Takes a -2 to their intelligence. So just small little
No,
intelligence.
a 10 and 11 are a 0 modifier. Did it
Right,
mean specifically?
right. But class 4 droids, when you're creating one, takes that -2, even though it's at a 10.
Is that
Yeah,
is that to the score or is that to the modifier?
It's to the modifier.
Okay.
It's weird.
I will look that up after. Just,
Yeah, that seems weird.
That seems odd, but okay, we'll go by that for now. So the messages are sent off. The cargo is loaded up. Phagris, you were going to try to work some magic?
Yeah, because like they're charitable organizations and all, so they're used to dealing with like spacers who transport their goods and at a discounted rate, but still a decent fair rate to cover the fact that we need to get the latest data from the HoloNet, fuel costs, the docking fees and whatnot. So yeah, let's try that.
All right.
Persuasion.
Yeah.
Well, that's a 17.
Okay. You managed to, you think, finagle a reasonable transporting fee for a single shipload of cargo to a destination. You are provided with 2,100 credits.
Okay.
As the various sources all sort of chip in for the efforts to get the vessel funded and to its destination.
Hey, Phaedrus,
Yeah.
see if you can get them to leave us with those cargo droids. Those lift.
Is that a separate persuasion roll?
That's going to be a separate persuasion roll. That's going to be a lot.
Yeah.
We're gonna need them to unload it because the refugees aren't gonna be able to carry this stuff. Is that
Well,
helping?
yeah, I think they're on for the trip, but like I guess how are you going to get the loading droids back? Do we just want to dump them on Brental, or?
At this point, the Alderaan various charitable people have used the loading droids to load this ship. They're kind of leaving it up to you at the other end of the trip to unload.
You're not saying to take the droids, are you?
I did. I told him to ask if we could take the droids since they gave us much more cargo than we were expecting.
Yeah, I'm gonna sigh and be like, my captain has informed me that he would like to ask if you could help us with allowing us to take the droids with us to help expedite the unloading process. Since this is probably going to be even worse since I did this somewhat reluctantly, but here we go. It's another 17.
Okay.
I keep rolling 7s.
You are informed that, well, ma'am, it's a bit unusual, but if you, on the far end of the journey, do your best to return them and send them on inbound vessels to Alderaan, we could perhaps provide you with 4 loaded droids.
That seems reasonable. I fully intend to make good on this promise as well.
All right.
Yeah.
You now have. There are 4 loaded droids. Anyway.
Phaedrus, real fast. Could you ask him to retrofit the loaders with rocket launchers?
An Alderaan, sure.
Are you an idiot?
I am also going to start hysterically laughing and be like, "You're a funny Jedi, aren't you?"
It's purely for defense.
Oh man.
I'm just saying.
Jedi only use his rocket.
We could be going up against a fleet of pirate ships led by a rogue Jedi Master. You think 4 droids with rocket launchers would be of any help?
They gave us a droid already, but it was disarmed.
Yeah, don't worry, we're already arming the droid.
Oh well, okay. If we're doing it, then it doesn't matter.
We don't have that much of a budget. We're basically like holdout blasters is what we're looking for.
Oh, so we're just gonna tape one of those dinky things to their shoulders or something?
Well, somewhere where it can I'm sure it has a concealed compartment somewhere it can hide a weapon.
You go through all the trouble of outfitting the Juggernaut war droid with internal weapons that'll come out with mounted emplacements, and it's just like out of the shoulder, and it's just this little holdout blaster.
We'll see what's in our budget when we get there. We do have around 2,000 credits from last time as well that I was actually intending on using to spend the weapons. So 2,100 for the subsequent fees and about 2,000 for acquiring weapons.
All right. So you guys loaded with cargo and loaded with credits. You still at the end of that day where you could set out now if you wanted, or spend another evening here on Alderaan.
Well, we make the jump now, and then if we made the jump now, could we essentially sleep on the jump to the Passy?
Yeah, because with the class 3, I believe that that'll basically be a red-eye flight, the equivalent, just through the night as far as you have in space.
Yeah, sleep with a watch order at the helm to make sure that nothing happens while we're.
I do always wonder about jet lag and any sort of sci-fi. It's got to be brutal, man. Just going to all the different planets and different time zones on each different planet. Yeah.
I wonder if
time.
Yeah.
I wonder if just through the thousands of years that hyperspace travel has been around, just the various species that are just got used to it to where it doesn't affect them.
Maybe. I would not do well. I don't do well just flying across the country. It just messes me up. Anyway.
So I assume that we have the most recent nav data computer, so we don't need to pay for that in the outfitting.
Yeah, nope, that should be up to date.
Okay. So in the corporal book, an astrogation is a physical science one, but in the starships one, it's a computers check.
I'm going to allow either, just because I don't want to limit any one individual who might have one really good, because hey, I know astrogation, I know this skill, but no, I'm going to use this one now. Anyway.
Well, I have them both at the same.
Me as well. I got a 9 modifier on both of them.
Yeah, I've got a 10 modifier on both of them. But I figured the running order is that since you're the captain of the ship, I assume you have a similar pilot of 6.
I have a pilot of 10.
10? Okay, yeah. So it makes most sense if you're pilot, I'm astrogator.
Okay.
So
I contact flight control and let them know we're heading out to Brental.
Okay. As you are contacting the appropriate the control tower, what is it? You actually receive an incoming transmission.
Oh, okay. Facilities Captain Farr here.
This is Takira. Are you serious about the job?
Absolutely. I got the ship back, and we're working for the Alderaan government right now, and I have a very small crew. Could definitely use you and the droids back.
Understood. I'm back in Aldera, the capital. I could be at the spaceport in 30 minutes.
Excellent. We'll wait for you. We're just about to head out. Excellent.
All right. It is after that you receive a text communication from the Mild siblings, the Arcanian deckhands. It simply reads, "We're in."
Excellent.
Do they know that there's no pay in this?
Not yet. They were told there was a job. They figured there was money.
So, highest charisma.
I'm going to the twins and ask them where they're at and try to arrange some kind of rendezvous.
About a minute later, there's just a kung 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 on the boarding ramp.
Okay, I go down and get my Arconian friends.
All right. They start looking around at all the cargo as you open. These two very similar looking pale Arcanians just sort of looking around the interior of the ship at all this cargo and this ship that was scrapped for all intents and purposes, and just, all right. Captain. And they just go back to their old crew quarters.
Excellent. I can speak Arcanian. I can talk in their language, and y'all can't understand me.
Oh boy.
They're just deckhands. The Mild siblings are deckhands, and Takira is she's the droid tech.
Yeah.
I might
She
have a talk
arrives
with her.
shortly thereafter, is a Keldor woman, and gets back on the ship trailing 3 astromechs that just start as they're looking around and scanning all the cargo and taking inventory.
I guess I got replaced as a astrogator.
I mean, you can make the rolls if you want. They add, like, yeah, metagaming, but you do have a better roll than they do technically.
It's the co-pilot.
So I'm gonna talk to Fusion Cutter. Take Fusion Cutter aside.
All right.
Hey, buddy. Well, question for the game master.
Sure.
Xeon speaks all computer languages. Would that include astromech, beeps, and worlds?
I'll say
think
yeah.
Binary? I think that's binary.
All right.
I
So
speak binary.
I take Fusion Cutter aside somewhere secure and instruct him, hey, buddy, you know you're always my go-to. So there's this war droid on ship, 000. Do me a favor and keep an eye on him. And I hand him the restraining bolt to put in one of his compartments. Use this if you need to.
Little arm comes out and takes the restraining bolt just back in the compartment.
So around this time, I'm going to Zaylin meet you and say like, so how much have you told them?
I told him the Alderons are using us. I didn't tell him exactly what the mission was.
They do know they're not getting paid, right? That we don't have the credits to pay them if they wanted to. They wanted it, right?
They're used to getting paid at the end of a job. But that would have to be a discussion I would have with them.
We're all going to die, aren't we?
You did make money off of this deal, correct? I heard you made, was it 2,000 credits?
Yes, that's barely going to cover docking. That's basically going to cover docking fees and fuel. That's not going to pay a crew's salary.
The Alderons already filled our crew, our fuel. And we're
yeah, but we're going to need fuel when we get there.
We don't need docking fees. Well, maybe for this mini jump that you're talking about getting supplies for, we might have docking fees.
I have contacts. I have contacts everywhere, but we'll roll to see if I have one there, I guess.
You have them both in rise?
The deckhands, they don't get paid much. I mean, I got paid cheap, and they're lower level than me. They get like Game Master. What would it be? I'm Dort Per. I'm assuming, I don't really know the currency value, but I'm assuming like 10 credits compared to what I started with would be fair for them for a trip.
I would have to look up the daily allotment just by going on the fact that kind of treating credits roughly as a US dollar. I call it for a average deckhand for a single job, depending on the length of the run, anywhere between 300 to 800 credits.
So I was just not getting paid, I assumed, for the last several years.
I mean,
Okay.
a lot of deckhands' money probably just goes to room and board, because if those aren't paid for, then you have to give it right back.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Well, we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
All right.
I
so
will.
everyone-
I will let them know that we're making a pit stop, and that's not the job.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So I tell the crew we're on a diplomatic mission. We have a short amount of funds, but most of the funds went into repairing the Vasari. And as usual, they get paid at the end. And prepare to make way. We're leaving. We're making a shop to pick up some supplies that we don't have, that the Alderon cannot provide. And then
Yeah,
we're heading back to Brental.
Please get it in their heads that we're doing charity work just so that their expectations aren't too high.
Yeah,
Honestly,
we're also donating what
I
are
told him
called
in front of the crew and besides the in front of the rest of the team, and then I take them aside and tell them we do well on this. I've talked to the prince. We might have some regular job from the Alderani government.
make another persuasion check.
7.
Yeah, they kind of look at each other.
We'll forego payment for this job.
We get double on the next one.
Okay. Thank you guys for coming back.
Mm-hmm. And the Milds just kind of walk off and start fiddling with the lifter droids that you've had on the ship. The Keldor mechanic, she just does kind of the Plo Koon kind of fiddle with the face apparatus and just
Very well.
just gets about her duties.
All right. So I head back up to the bridge, contact not Brental, Alderaan flight control, and prepare to make off.
Okay. You acquire the appropriate clearance and lift off of the planet. The Visari is airborne and then breaks atmosphere, and you attempt to put in the appropriate jump coordinates to... Have you finalized where you're going?
Thagris, what was the name of the planet you said that was affiliated with Kuat Drive Yards?
Tapasi.
Yeah, that's where we're gonna put for.
Okay. As you input, it's not astrogation in this. It's
either physical science or a computer.
I
Because it-
believe. Yeah, let's call it physical science.
I believe we're all doomed.
All right, please don't mess this up.
Did you
Well, I
guys
rolled
get
a
this
19, so that's a 29.
droid from
Do
Axis?
we
All right.
pilot?
Yeah, the pilot, Zalen's the pilot, and I am the co-pilot / astrogator.
What's
Alright.
your pilot skill?
6.
I'm
You
10.
win.
Backup pilot, essentially.
And then I roll 24 for piloting.
All right. Easily enough, you guys are rather skilled. You both know ships, and the Visari shoots off through hyperspace. If I can, there we go.
I do mention to you that now having seen firsthand your persuasion skills, that, hey, I know you're the captain of the ship and all, but I think it'd be best if you let the diplomat handle dealing with the over the comm with things, as I can be a little more persuasive and deceptive than you can be.
All right. I wanted to be honest and straightforward with my friends.
It's fine.
We did go through hell recently.
Am I there in the cockpit with them?
Sure.
Being straightforward with your friends is more of a delicate act than you think.
Another question for the game master.
Yep.
Where did we decide on with that last thing that we were discussing?
Trying to remember what the last thing was. Sorry.
Boarding party?
Oh, yes. That will come into play later, maybe, depending on how things go.
Because I was planning, if we decided to keep it, I was planning on giving Cassis the internal video of it.
Would that still be intact with all of the scrambling you'd done on the computers?
Oh, I took a full copy before I did
Okay.
that.
Yeah, okay, if you want, go for it.
So Jedi, remember how you were asking about that boarding party that I didn't really know about?
Yes, you did, pilot.
I have the internal sensors if you want to look at them, but I don't know anything about it other than what I told you. But perhaps you know more about them. And I pull up at this point I've restored the computer and I just pull it up on the main computer in the cockpit.
All right.
I'll take a look at that.
Okay. Just gonna check the different ones here. Yeah, we'll call that galactic lore, if you have that. Otherwise, just straight intelligence.
Who's rolling that?
If you're looking over the footage, Zalen's already looked over it and doesn't know anything about it. But if Cassius is looking over it now and wants to see how he does.
It's gonna be a general knowledge check for me then.
Okay.
That wasn't good. 6.
Yeah, these look like armored individuals who are, pushing they're not violently boarding, but it looks like the footage shows that they're prying open the blast doors to get onto the ship.
Is there some kind of uniform between the armored individuals? Like, are they easily identified as, like, from a particular mercenary group, or?
Not with your role, no.
Okay.
Well then,
Yep, those guys are definitely breaking in.
Yep.
I don't know if I'm in the room for this, but I will eventually come in and say, hey, we need to get a watch order ready. I can take essentially half the ship because I only need 4 hours to meditate to get a full rest. Or not meditate, but I only need 4 hours of sleep to get a full rest. So I can essentially take half the journey. But
Well, I want to be on watch when we arrive, because I
so
want
you're
to.
taking the last watch. So we need 3 hours worth of watch. Which I'm assuming that gives an hour watch to each of you, unless we want to trust the NPCs that we're definitely not paying at the end of the job with that.
Now,
I trust the NPCs.
Do you want to give them the other 3 watches, or leave it in a? You're the captain. I'm making this call. I'm saying I can take around half the watch. You want to take the watch. So between the rest of the 6 of us now, to take the other 3 hours of watch.
I would give Scrap Heap and Denied one of the watches. Fusion Cutter already has his own duty, and I don't want to interfere with. So that leaves one more watch that needs
What
to
about
be taken.
me? What about me?
I can do that because by what I told Fusion Cutter, he'll be with you in the room.
You do note 000 that pretty much anywhere you go around the ship, there's always like right at the corner of your peripheral vision with your photoreceptors, there's this little astromech just kind of doing the the horror movie slide in the corner of your eye.
All right.
Can I roll something to like kind of gauge on what it's doing? Like since I've noticed it as it follows me, like.
Yeah, roll a perception check.
20. I'm kidding you not. I just got a nat 20.
All right. You get a sense that this droid is, as much as an astromech can with the little photoreceptor, it's giving you the stink eye. Just kind of doing the...
Can I walk over to it?
Sure.
I ask, what are you doing? In binary, essentially.
I don't think you need to speak. Yeah.
Monitoring your activities.
Who sent you to monitor my activities?
There's like the whirring of the processors. No one.
Oh, no one. Can I call his bluff there?
If you want to.
Right. Now somebody put you up to this, obviously. Was it Zaylon?
Were no one.
Mm,
All right.
All right. Well, let me just tell
I
you.
can't do much.
Yeah.
Let's
This
see.
goes on for some time as
Well,
All
in
right.
any case,
I'm just gonna loop now with it.
yeah.
in any case, I'll take the first 4 hours of watch. Then you want to take the last watch. So the other, I don't know how you want to do the rest of the other 3 on their watch. How do you want to order it?
Let's have 000 do the first one,
After me,
which
okay.
I can
after you, yeah. Who's
Since I'm a
accompanied
droid.
by Fusion Cutter, whose designation is FCD6, by the way, nicknamed Fusion Cutter. And then we'll do Denied, who's A4D9, nicknamed Denied. And the last one before myself would be Scrap Heat, which is SH92.
Okay.
I'm going to point out the irony of the fact that we were tapped by droids, and now droids are taking up over half the watch order.
Anakin, I told you, the droids are taking over. All right.
Can I go back to my conversation with the droid?
Sure.
Since we are on the first watch, we will have to
Well, you're on the 5th hour of the watch.
the
Sure.
5th hour of the watch.
Yeah.
We will have to get along. I want no antics.
Little manipulator arm goes, just kind of extends out.
I essentially I grab it and shake it, kind of like a handshake. I trust you. All right.
Yes.
All right. So that's it for now then.
Okay. Okay. Everybody is able to locate appropriate quarters. There are more than enough rooms across the ship for a full complement of crew, and all of you are able to get whatever sleep you require, or meditation for the Jedi, and you're awakened from a full night's rest near the end of the journey. It looks as though there's a little under an hour left before you come out into Tapasi space. The evening appeared to go uneventfully.
Excellent. Then I make the ship ready to exit hyperspace
Okay.
and whatever needs to be done. I'm sure Phelan knows. Zaylon knows, but I don't necessarily know.
Well, I just watched A New Hope yesterday, so as far as I recall, you just kind of switch a few switches up here, and then you emerge back into real space within the Tapasi system. It is not long before you are hailed as you are within controlled space.
Prager. Well, while he's doing that, I take one of the droids, whatever ones happen to be closest, and I start going over the diagnostics of the hyperdrive.
Okay.
What is the ship's name again?
The Visari.
The Vistari. I need to write that down.
That's one thing I've definitely learned from running games. If I don't write it down, I'm probably going to forget. So
Yeah, I have a word file of all the names of everyone. This is Phagris Lear of the Visari coming in. We would like request permission to dock and make I guess make planetfall.
Oh,
On
Tigers, can you ask them for a number 7 with dip?
Great.
so that we may conduct the business of the Royal House of Alderaan.
There's a pause, and then the response, Visari, we have been made aware of your designation. May we inquire what it is you're doing here? We were under the impression you were investigating specific events pertaining to the rising tensions.
Well, yes, we are. Though our ship has been
micro jump. We needed a
Yeah.
micro jump.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm going to say. It's like, yes, we are, though our ship has been recently prepared. So we just wish to test out to ensure that the hyperdrive was working properly, and preferably at an inhabited system such as yourself, so that we may purchase the supplies that we couldn't get from our original destination as well. And since you guys were fit the category of being a inhabited planet with the with the necessary facilities for if we had an issue with our hyperdrive on our way to Brenthal, that you were the perfect candidate for this microjump.
Understood. Visari, our scans show that you are carrying quite a bit of cargo. Is there a reason you're bringing so much ordnance into our space?
Ordnance?
Going.
Shoot, we didn't check the cargo bay.
Right, going.
When hearing this, I immediately task all the droids down to the cargo bay and grab
I
my
go
tool.
down there too.
Okay.
I rather miffed at the fact that we're getting accused of smuggling weapons. Say, ordnance. We're not carrying ordnance. We're carrying supplies for the relief efforts at Brenthal.
Unless the relief effort involves rather large explosions, I believe you have been duped.
Okay, can I go down the cargo bay? Wait, so I'm in the cargo bay now because I went down with the droids.
Okay.
I open up one of the boxes.
Okay.
Zero, be
And-
careful.
Okay. Actually, before I do, I want to do a sensor check. Just kind
Okay.
of see if I can essentially scan the boxes before I open them.
Okay. You perform a quick scan. Just roll use computers. Just.
Let's say use computer because sensors would go under perception because it boosts.
Oh yeah, for yeah. Okay, being a droid. Yeah. Go. I'll allow it.
18 plus 2, that's 20.
Okay. Yeah, as you take a quick scan of the cargo in front of you, there are it looks as though there are small capital ship grade missiles inside.
Concussion missiles that will fit my
I quickly comlink up to the I essentially comlink everyone. We have a problem here. We are carrying capital grade munitions on board.
Capital grade. So these are probably too big for our launchers anyway.
Are they currently armed?
They're
Seth?
not.
Okay, yeah. I say to Fagris, you need to get us out of here quickly.
No, we don't.
Baywan, are you trying to kill us?
We are not in Brenthal. These were meant to go in Brenthal. We are here, and now we can make money from this.
Well,
Fagris, sell the munition.
They're you said they are armed.
No.
No,
They are
they're-
not armed.
They're not
but-
armed.
But I'm sure if out of the sky, if we're blown out of space, that is going to trigger a massive reaction, and we will all die if this hull is pierced.
Who programmed this droid? It's very pessimistic.
Yeah.
I'm a juggernaut war droid who has not had a memory wipe in over 700 years. Give me a break.
Well,
we can fix that.
well,
I've seen shit go down.
Seen Poodoo go down.
Less, with much less gravitas, I should say.
well, yeah. Again, if this was meant to go off, I guess I tell you back, search for a detonator, and we'll, if we don't find anything like that, we'll handle this.
I will also search for a remote activator.
Okay.
Well, that's a detonator. So.
And the cargo plane searching everything, looking.
All right, can I? That's another perception check, right?
Yeah. Just
All right.
to look around the various
All
cargo.
right. Oh gosh, please. 14 plus 2
Okay.
is 16.
You're not the only one doing it. It's 18 for me. Do all the droids and cargo
Oh, yeah.
planes do the same?
Well, that's probably an 8 another. So
Yeah. So you can task all the droids to be helping you with the effort, but even with everybody looking, there's a lot of cargo. It's going to take a lot of time to look over everything. So
well, I
stall.
well-
I go over the comm like stall them, Phagris.
well, yeah.
Stall them.
I let the very helpful person on the other end of the line say,
Some of them were willing to trade for refugee supplies.
yes, we are, yes, almost hurt and gratified that that they were so kind as to let us know that the great name of the Alderanian Alderanian hospitality and altruism has been so thoroughly usurped that my crew is currently in the process of ensuring that these are disarmed and that there aren't any sort of traps or remote detonators. And we will ensure to stay well clear of the lanes and the planet. And once we have concluded that, yes, in fact, these are not armed and there's no remote detonators, we would request assistance in disposing of said weapons-grade concussion missiles, as we were informed that we were carrying supplies and relief efforts, not weapons munitions. And we are, in fact, quite furious at our handlers and will not be conducting business with them again.
Okay.
Is that a...
Yeah, you go ahead and roll the persuasion. Zaylon, 000, and any of the droids who are looking around, anyone who's looking around, you're opening up the various crates. You're actually assessing that about a third of them do appear to be what the bill of goods you were sold, and then about 2/3 appear to be nothing but missiles.
All right. Well, I got a 29 in that persuasion. Rolled almost as high as I could.
All right. There's another. Please hold, Visari, as there's about 5 to 10 minutes of silence on the line. You note that any of the other ships that had been making their approach, I assume you guys have halted your approach because you said you were going to clear.
Well, I'm halting our approach and I'm steering us away from any lanes that other ships are making. Or
Even
since
as
he's
you're
in there.
steering yourself away, you do note that the various other vessels approaching the planet are altering course to leave you a wider berth as they are being alerted.
I'm going to quickly tell Phagris about number one of our cargo situation. So 1/3 Phagris, 1/3 of the cargo is relief supplies, while 2/3 are missiles and munitions. I suggest I'm going to lock down the cargo containers that carry the relief supplies. If anything, I suggest that we dump those into the nearest star.
We'll let whatever the control tower wants to do with them.
What if they try to just blow us out of the sky?
Yeah, that is quite an option, especially considering they are diverting traffic away from our starship and
Right,
having
and we're
zero
diverting,
trust in us.
and we're diverting away from the traffic as well.
Regardless, we should have a plan B in case this goes sour.
Do you have a plan B?
I guess I can calculate another microdrum to get us out of here.
You know, honestly, anywhere, any direction.
Denied up to help with that.
What was that?
I send denied up to help me do calculating the micro jump.
All right.
Okay.
So I guess that's an 8 another then.
Yep, and you get a +2.
Okay. So
Won't they sense that we are? Won't they?
So that's a 30
detect
then.
We are powering up our engines for hyperspace, though.
no, I'm plotting a course. We're not jumping. I'm plotting a course for if we have to jump.
Okay, and in case it becomes relevant, just a random jump, or like, are you trying to head toward the core, toward the rim?
Let's not head toward Brental.
Yeah, not heading towards Brental, but towards
I suggest
another system that would be in the area, but shall we say a little more friendly to acquiring black market missiles.
I would say let's just do a random jump, since it would kind of, no offense, it kind of mix things up and just kind of, please. Let's just go straight into the.
I guess that's a
abyss.
galactic lore knowledge to know of a planet in the.
Yeah, like
it is going to be the case though of this far into the core. It's going to be hard to find a planet that matches the description of being so open to deal with black market goods.
it would, but
Or that at least would be more open to helping us dispose of them.
Before I ran down to the cargo bay where I was still looking at the diagnosis for the engines, did it just appear to be a good jump?
As far as you can tell, with a 30, it's like, yeah, I'm not gonna be like, oh, suddenly you smash into an asteroid. Yeah, it'll be fine.
Yeah. So how does my 29 persuasion get them over?
I'm happy with a longer jump. It is at this point. If we need to go farther.
Okay. Eventually, there is the response back across the line to you, Phagris. Visari, we are going to ask you to hold position.
this is not good.
I would suggest that you power down your engines and any weapons you might have aboard. And we are going to carefully examine your cargo and attempt to corroborate your story. If you wish to make landfall, we can provide you with a transport.
I'd very much like to get this situation settled prior to us making landfall.
Landfall, there might be a chance we end up in prison for
Yeah,
transporting galactic arms.
That's also what I'm thinking. That's why we're staying on the ship.
And however, if we stand still, they might blow us out of space.
Phagris,
Mhm.
do you think there's a chance we can sell this stuff? If not, I'm going to make a jump.
Not here.
Not here, nowhere in the core. And if my assumption is correct in that even if we haven't found a detonator that they are to go off, then then they're probably set to go off around the time that we would get to Brentel with this engine. So a longer jump would not be a good idea.
I messaged back. I messaged you. I ping you through the comm link. I essentially I whisper to you like my internal comm link. Is it possible that we could be dealing with one of the crew member on board, perhaps sabotaging these missiles?
The missiles arrived before the crew members came.
Yeah.
They did not bring the missiles with them.
Yeah.
Even if they came before, though,
But
that doesn't necessarily exclude that if they came after, does it?
Well,
They
even
could have easily been part of somebody who put them on the ship, and they've been in contact, and they could easily have stowaway among the crew.
Well, we have-
Zaylon, as you're looking to 000, you just see behind your astromech buddy just kind of pulls out the restraining bolt and just sort of waves it around. and tucks it away.
Well,
yeah, okay.
I'm not convinced that they are out to get us, as no one knew that we were coming here. I'm also convinced that, well, I guess I'm confident in my own abilities that we're going to get out of this, and I see no reason why I don't see no reason why they would blow us out of the sky with our cover story. I'm willing to comply with them at this point. I have, we can do a power jump, and I have the astrogation plot for the jump set if we do need it. If we do notice that they are powering up weapons, we have sensors.
I do want to comply with them because this is an opportunity. We have a cargo full of missiles.
Yeah, and I do too. So I'm going to at this point I'm going to comply.
Well, real fast, what kind of ships do you see are approaching on short range?
Smaller planetary security force, so probably the size of like small freighters or
yeah.
No military vessel.
I do have another question though, and I know this is
maybe the Jedi Knight want to talk to security, being a security person themselves.
Yeah.
Well, if they're here in person, then I'd be more than willing. But it seems to me that you two have the situation handled.
Well, yeah. Well, no, you can make contact with them once they board. But at this point, I see no reason to not let them board.
I'm going to return to the bridge, giving the astromechs and crew orders to keep searching through that cargo and find anything that looks like these might be dangerous at some point.
They're still looking. 000, what was your question?
So when they contacted our ship, they mentioned that they knew our mission and they knew we were at the summit. How would they have known that? I wouldn't think that would be public knowledge, correct?
Galactic news.
Yeah, it's galactic news.
Okay, it's galactic.
But again, they knew of us. They didn't know we were coming.
Right.
So if this is a trap, then it's... I highly doubt they stationed people at like every single planet that we possibly could have jumped to from Alderaan just to spring a trap. Unless this is a galaxy-wide conspiracy, which even I'm not paranoid enough to believe.
Seth.
Yeah.
I would like to use the Force to search my feelings to see if the future holds any favorable or unfavorable results for us.
Okay. Go for it.
All right. My roll is an 18.
Well,
you're 15.
You definitely get the sense that things have taken a turn for the potentially disastrous, but you feel as though if cooler heads prevail, everything can probably work out okay.
All right. So then I'm just going to say to everybody, you know what, if we just keep calm, do what they're asking, then I think everything will go just fine.
Okay. Powering off engines, and I don't even think we powered on weapons and all, so I'm just going to leave them off.
Yeah, we didn't power on weapons.
Yeah. No. We have no reason. I bet there's no one even the turrets.
I've also told the droid if they think they can use those missiles for our launchers, the kind of designate a crate as a road. They go over that crate more thoroughly.
I highly doubt that that's going to work, but I'm not there, so we'll get to that. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
I'm back on the bridge at this point, I'm guessing.
If you wanted to head for the bridge, sure.
Yeah, I wanted to head for the bridge.
Okay.
Fracas, do you and Cassius want to meet them when they board?
Yeah.
I suggest that, yes.
Yeah, I have like whatever coordinates for the hyperspace jump that I calculated. I leave those in the I'll like write a note or something and leave those with him.
Well, okay. Denied was with you. He has them.
Okay.
Astromechs are useful. The smaller craft of the planetary security forces do make their approach and move to the docking hatches of this larger ship, and I assume you help them through the process of docking.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Manage to latch on without any sort of difficulty, and soon the access hatches are opening, and you have various security personnel and technicians slowly meandering through the ship and scanning everything and taking stock of what it is you have on the Visari. And the what looks like the junior security officer is like a second lieutenant, perhaps, or the equivalent thereof. And he just is looking around to the interior of the ship. You have quite a bit of cargo. Is all of it missiles?
No, all of it.
No.
Perhaps about 2/3.
Oh,
And the other 1/3.
Our crew's been searching, and we have the ones marked that we've already found as well. Though we still have a lot to go, and I'm sure you'd be interested in helping us in that and double checking any crates we've marked as safe as well.
yes. I hope you understand that we will have to offload these munitions and confiscate them. I apologize for if your story holds true, which we've no reason to doubt it. It would be rather foolish of you to set out from Alderaan with this much weaponry and simply drop in with us.
So Seth, GM, I would like to use the mind trick force power.
Oh no, here we go.
Yeah. Let's get into it.
Are they still scanning our ship?
No, they're on.
They're small vessels. They can't destroy a ship of this size. I mean, they could damage it and incapacitate us, but they can't destroy it.
Zaylon, all they need is concentrated laser fire through our cargo bay to set off one of the
Right. But also,
down.
multiple security officials from Planet are on the ship, and at least one ship is docked with it. They shoot us. They take out their own with them.
This doesn't mean it. I'm talking about after they after they got off the ship. Hey, did you get those munitions off board the ship? Oh, wait, what?
Why do they have a reason to shoot? If we comply with them, why would they have a reason to blow us out?
All right, Cassis, you're going to do your thing.
I would like to do my action.
Yeah.
So I'm going to make a use the force check. The roll will be compared to the target's will defense. Is that all right?
Got it.
All right. So I'm going to say, we mean no harm with these missiles, and you don't need to confiscate them from us.
Okay.
So a 19 on the die plus 14. What was that? It's a big number. Okay.
33.
That's a 33, sir.
Yeah. Oh, well, I mean, that obviously changes matters if we don't need to. Sorry, hold on. And he kind of leans into his earpiece for a second. Oh. I do apologize, Master Jedi, but it appears as though you are attempting to use some sort of persuasion technique against me. I'm afraid I'm going to have to take you in.
What?
Yes, it did work if it helps you feel better, but I was alerted through my earpiece.
So your earpiece is force sensitive?
No, the individuals listening in appear to feel as though you had exercised some sort of Jedi trick.
Does the Jedi not outrank them?
Why would a Jedi outrank security forces on a world?
Because you're a Republic world.
The Jedi do not hold any judicial rank. They hold
Yeah.
adequate rank. It's different than judicial.
Go ahead, Cassis.
It's the whole reason why myself and Mina we're here to oversee this transfer and make sure it's as peaceful as possible.
Understood, but we will have to confiscate these weapons. We cannot have them. These are illegal weapons. You don't have the proper licensing to be transporting this cargo.
Don't look at me. I didn't put them up to this.
I would think the Visari would have license to carry all cargo.
So the Visari had the license to carry these when it was working with the company before. It has since been unaffiliated with the company and is now an independent vessel.
So I like to carry nothing. Okay, because I did not take care of that. Wonderful.
Okay, so I essentially position myself, kind of, about 3 to 4 feet back from the one guard talking to Cassius.
Okay.
Just
Okay,
kind of.
no. We are
No,
not attacking them.
I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm just kind of in case things go wrong.
Fusion Cutter is there. He
Okay.
would stop 000 if it came to that.
Well, no. Again, I'm just there in case anything goes south.
Okay,
Right?
I look at
Just kind of a ready position. All right?
I look
I'm
at my
not-
Jedi I look at my Jedi companion and what I can best make clear to humans as an absolutely disgusted face at why he would try to mind trick this person
that too.
into allowing
There
us.
is absolutely no evidence that I tried to trick anybody.
The
I agreed with one of my statements.
So, based on the dialogue that was overheard, he was telling you that they needed to confiscate the goods. You said, "No, you don't." He says, "Oh yeah, no, that's fine. We don't have to." And
Would that not be a
Yeah.
persuasion check with whoever was listening on the line then?
It's not my fault that he's easily agreeable.
But whoever
Look.
was listening, wouldn't that be a persuasion check and not automatically he's trying to abuse the force?
Yeah, that I'm assuming he made that persuasion check behind the DM screen.
as far as Cassius had rolled against the guy's will save, but as far as the people listening, they heard, "You don't have to do that." Oh, you're right. I don't have to do that, which is
basically at this point I am
So
saying
they must have rolled over 33 in order to determine that.
no. You weren't mind tricking them. They just heard the conversation.
yeah.
So wouldn't that
Regardless,
be persuasion then at that point?
well, no. Regardless, I guess I'm going to make a persuasion that Cassis didn't act on any of our orders and acted on his own. You know how Jedi are sometimes.
Oh my! Thrown under the hover bus, which wouldn't do anything anyway.
I would
Well-
gladly throw him underneath the hover bus.
Honestly, at this point, I'm trying to save the rest of us.
Sure.
Yeah. So,
You can-
what a time to
Cassis
roll a
and
7?
000.
17.
Okay.
I keep rolling 7s.
The officer does look between you and says, "Very well. You understand this is a rather delicate situation. You have a ship here full of ordnance, and if you are attempting to deceive us in some way, we have no recourse but to believe that you are acting dishonestly, and with the situation between the Greater Republic and the Axis worlds, we will
Wait, that
have to a thorough inquiry, I fear.
now we're going to be trapped on planets until the inquiry is done.
That's fine.
Every moment we waste, the trail to the Jedi Master gets colder.
We're not going after the Jedi Master. We're just finding evidence that the Jedi Master is complicit in this, or whoever's behind the Jedi Master. We are not directly confronting them. We are just finding the evidence so other people can confront
them. But that
them.
still gives time for that trail to go cold, finding evidence to make said, put him in the spot that, whatever. The evidence can go cold if we wait too long.
Yeah, the level 1 party is going to go take on a Jedi Master. That's the plan.
No.
I emphatically disagree.
The officer does say to you, Cassis, "I am going to need you to hand over your Jedi weapon."
I will give him my lightsaber, and I'll say, very well. If
Okay.
you believe that, getting in the way of a diplomatic mission is really that called for.
We are simply performing our duty, sir. We have no wish to interfere in the Alderanian neutral investigation into this matter. But if we were to let this questionable conduct go without formal inquiry, we would be held accountable.
Fine, then take me to your superior.
Yes, that is what I. Yes.
Yeah, let's
Yes,
continue.
Yeah.
that is.
So I guess we're just agreeing. Yeah. Okay. Cool. We are all in agreement. Anyway, so as they're taking them off, I guess either the junior officer or whatever, I lead whoever's left in charge and their security team over to the cargo bay. Note the ones that we've already checked just so they can either check that they do have weapons in them and or that they don't. And the ones that they're currently checking, I make the note of if you would like to inspect them yourselves, I can, of course, let our, in case you think we are tampering with them, I can, of course, instruct our crew to see so you can look at them untampered, as we have only made our way through a few, around a small percentage of the cargo bay. It is a lot of cargo after all.
Does any of the crew that's down there, which they're all down there, have any experience with bribing officials?
We are not going to get in more
I'm not
trouble.
down there. I'm on the bridge, but This is normal business for us.
The deckhands just automatically say nope, nope. And,
I wasn't asking until I was asking if they had experience with that.
Takura does respond.
I'm not talking to them.
Okay.
I'm not talking to the GM to see if they would have any motivation to intercede.
Not to your knowledge. Okay. As Cassis is escorted into the transport to head down to the planet, is everyone else just staying on the Visari?
Yeah.
I'm on the bridge. I fully expected some security team to come up there.
Yeah, I guess I'm giving them the tour and handing them like our official manifest, just for their inquiry that like this is our manifest. This is what they told us was on these crates. These are the companies that were involved in it. If the various charitable organizations that stowed concussion missiles on our ship.
Yeah. As you hand over that information, you are assured, we'll look into it. Thank you very much, ma'am. And Cassis, as you are taken down into one of the groundside cities, taken into an interrogation, like it's not, you know, you're not being tortured or anything, but you're in an interrogation room, just sort of sat there at the table. A few minutes pass before the same officer enters and just has this kind of confused look on his face and just sets your lightsaber down on the table in front of you. So we're all a little confused here. You must be a Jedi. You attended the... Why would you be carrying around a decoy lightsaber?
Not carrying around a decoy lightsaber.
He picks up the lightsaber and just kind of taps the ignition button over and over and over. Nothing happens.
Oh, somebody stole your lightsaber, dude.
Somebody must have tampered with my lightsaber, then I ask for it.
He tentatively hands it over.
I will safely put it off to the side and attempt to activate it.
Nothing happens.
I'll throw it over my shoulder. Well, now that you've tampered with my lightsaber, what else do you plan to do?
Oh no!
You did nothing to your lightsaber. If you would investigate it, you would see that the energy emitter matrix is...
He knows an awful lot about lightsabers.
Hey, we're not there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're all just like
That's your issue, dude.
And he's like, the lens is fractured, the energy matrix is completely corroded, and he starts listing like through the components that just are all shot, apparently.
That makes absolutely no sense. It was in use 2 days ago on Alderaan to protect the entire delegation.
Yes, that's the story we heard. And you match the description and the file of the Jedi in question, one
Then
of them.
tell me why it is that you tampered with my lightsaber in an attempt to, I don't know, detain me, put me in prison? What is this?
Sir?
Suddenly, we're not so paranoid.
You are not being permanently detained. We have no definitive evidence against you, any of your crew, the ship in general.
Then I must be free to go. Is that the case?
Oh my God, what are you doing, man?
Yes,
Sovereign
sir.
citizen Cassis, I guess.
So that must mean that if I am free to go after, now I suppose the accusation against you wouldn't make that much sense. However, somebody on the ship could have absolutely destroyed my lightsaber. Who is it that you gave my lightsaber to?
There's like a long, uneasy pause before he answers. The weapon has not left my custody.
Then what did you do to it?
I did nothing to your Jedi weapon.
Now that you can see that this interrogation has been turned around onto you, you are obviously in league with some nefarious faction, either on this planet or otherwise.
I knew it.
Get in the way.
Sir, I warn you that this story will not hold water. I have a spotless record, and I'm informed that you do not.
I do not. Who has given you this information then?
I have briefly been in contact with the Jedi Council.
Ooh, this gets juicy. I'd like to see your record.
I assume they're the ones who analyzed your lightsaber then.
As a Republic citizen, you are within your rights to pull my record.
Then I would like them.
Yes, sir. One moment, please. He stands and exits the room.
Okay, I will use the Force to get my lightsaber from across the room, just tuck it into a pocket, and then leave.
Okay. As you're on your way out, a couple of the guards that see you heading out of the interrogation room are just like, but realize they can't stop you, so just...
I was told that I was not being detained, so...
Free to go, sir. Free to go. Free to go.
Now, where did you put the ship?
I think it's still in orbit.
Still in orbit.
And I'd like a shuttle.
Ship is right where you left it, sir.
What'd you say?
Those of you back on the ship, at this point, you have had ample opportunity to look, you believe, thoroughly through all of the cargo, or as much as is possible. You have not found any sign of a detonator, any sort of trigger device, timer, anything.
Okay. And I assume that if we're satisfied with this, then the investigators are satisfied with this as well.
Yep, as they've finished looking over everything.
Mm-hmm.
Well, all right then. We'll begin extricating these canisters and storing them securely on the planet. You may make a claim for them if you wish, but you will have to have proper authorization and notification that these are your property.
I mean, technically we have the manifest, but but the
That
manifest.
just means you were shipping the containers. It doesn't mean you own what's inside.
Yeah.
Mhm. You know what? Let's do that loophole of, well, technically we own the containers, just not what's inside.
Oh,
Want to get really difficult? You can do that if you want.
Well,
is that really minions come up to the bridge?
This is just, okay. I'm not going to say that just because they're inside the containers that we need them. I'm just going to make the assumption of, well, make the claim of, well, we do technically own the containers, though, of course, transporting the missiles without the containers would be a little bit difficult. Though I assume that we would not necessarily be detained, but definitely be on planet for a little bit. So I guess if you could be so kind of, after you've disposed of the missiles, to return the containers to us. Just on the, ooh, this is good. Just on the off chance that whoever we deliver these this cargo to, if we show up to Brintal with empty cargo bay, with less crates than we showed up with, they're going to know something happens. Something happens, and that they were confiscated somewhere along the way, that we didn't make a straight jump to there. So if you could perhaps help us in not tipping off whoever it was who set us up in this way, that we have figured out that they have put illegal cargo by returning the containers and possibly weighing them down with something, or of that like, so that when we show up to deliver them, we have the same amount of canister cargo containers that we were supposed to. That would be greatly appreciated.
So you're doing this once they've gone through everything, though?
Yes.
Okay. They do inform you. Regrettably, we have flagged the serial numbers on the cargo. They have been back flagged as being illicit goods. If anyone looks up the information, they will have it.
I called down to Dre. Dre, what's going on down there? Can I get a progress report?
I am currently on my way to finding a shuttle to get back. I have
Not you, Dre Tarkara, my droid.
Got it. Similar names. Apologies. Yeah. Well, they appear to be satisfied. I don't know that I am.
So what are they doing with the cargo? What's going on?
Well, that depends, I suppose, if Phagris is saying, hey, can we keep the containers? Because if that's the case, they would be like, well, okay, we got to slowly bring up containers and move.
So he's saying that they would be marked as contraband. So even when we got to Brental, that they would come to the same conclusion that you did upon inspection. Is that what he's or that was he saying
right.
back to us?
If basically at the far end somebody inspects the cargo, they're going to be able to assess what was in the crates, even if they're still present.
Then perhaps I don't suppose there's a way to either scrub that or swap out crates of similar size that would look like they would have the legitimate cargo, at least to.
They wouldn't match the original manifest, but you could attempt something like that and try to hand wave your way out of it.
I can do that.
Well, that would be we would essentially be forging the canisters, not necessarily forging them on the manifest to be the same canister numbers on the manifest, but not the canisters themselves, saying that they have illicit cargo, just so that when we show up, we have the same number of crates that we left with for anyone monitoring the dock.
Okay.
Hey, Dre, are they're taking the missiles? The crates are ours. Could we maybe sell them the crates?
I would prefer not to push our luck, Captain.
Yeah, that's at least my argument for keeping the crates. Though, if they're not going to go for it, then I'm perfectly fine handing over the crates as well.
If the argument is brought up, the various technicians and security personnel, technically that's possible, ma'am. It will be a lot of paperwork and a lot of hassle.
Which I assume would cost us a lot as well.
Well, we don't determine such things. We leave that to the.
Right, but you have salaries and all, and if we're doing this, we necessarily can't afford to do that. Yeah, sure, take them.
All right.
I tried.
Yeah, they basically go up to like the main docking bay, the loading doors, and just sort of like start ferrying out through the energy barrier onto their smaller freighters the various crates of missiles that you had on your ship. After a few hours, finally they're fully offloaded. Cassis, you managed to make your return ship on a shuttle up from the planet, and left with only the crates containing actual relief supplies. You are informed you are free to go.
Excellent. I guess.
So lucky.
Are we still free to make planetfall to purchase supplies?
Technically, yes, but you do note the various technicians are installing they're not a lot like small inconspicuous tracking devices. They're just like installing a network grid to keep them notified of your ship's movements, as they are now going to be your last port of call, where you were possibly caught dealing with illicit goods. So they are going to be responsible for your movements and tracking where you go from here. So that's all, you're all aware of it, that they're basically telling your face, we're going to be keeping an eye on you for the appropriate amount of time.
So getting holdout blasters here is now out.
If you get appropriate licenses for them, you could acquire them. But...
Well, I have connections, so I can get the licenses. I can get the license and restricted stuff without having to pay the licensing fee or go through background checks.
Okay.
So I guess I have a contact on planet that can help facilitate that.
Do we have to roll for that? I'm trying to remember.
It's a talent that that I took.
Got it.
Did the crew bring back anything from the armory by any chance? I'm guessing not, but
I'm not sure about that.
The Milds actually would have. They brought like their personal Arcanian blades that they have at their side.
so just there is nothing else. Okay.
No.
I assume not. Has Fagros informed me that we no longer have any license to transport cargo?
No, we have a license to transport the legitimate cargo.
That's true, because you could just grab that, being Fagros, with your talent. So okay.
But Fagros has licenses, but the Visaris does not anymore.
Well, I suppose if Fagros wants to secure license for the ship to transport goods, does your talent extend to that?
It just says, hold on, let me.
Because if not, I'm going to have to put in for all new licenses. That's what I'm just trying to figure out.
Actually, I think I have it written down in my notes, so I wouldn't even have to look. Talents, connections. You are able to obtain licensed, restricted, military, or illegal equipment without having to pay a licensing fee or endure a background check, provided the cost of desired equipment is less than or equal to your character level times 1,000 credits. So basically, if it's under 1,000 credits, I can get it without having to.
Right, but it's more about specific equipment, though, not trading.
So a holdout blaster and like probably something bigger to modify or to put like in a concealed compartment in our droid is going to be is some stuff I can get. Cargo I can tell you for sure concussion missiles don't cost 1,000 credits, at least not in the supply that we had them in.
All right, so I start filling out the paperwork for the various licenses that the Visaris used to hold.
Yeah. Okay.
And in 6 to 8 months, I'll have them.
Well, I can get them for you.
Well, your talent seems to cover specific, like acquiring specific goods. Does it say anything about getting actual licenses for actual, like raider license?
It just says.
Yeah.
Yeah, obtain license restricted. Yeah, obtain. Without having to pay a licensing fee or endure a background check provided the total cost of desired equipment is equal to or less than your character level times 1,000.
But yeah, but that's more about acquiring like specific items. It seems like Zaylon is
Yeah,
wanting to actually get license for the ship.
Yeah, so yeah, in that case. But I would guess that me in acquiring them, even though I don't have to pay or endure, that my connections essentially give us those once we buy them.
I mean, they have license to sell the goods to you, but whether you have the license to actually be carrying such things. Anyway, but in the interest of time, Zaylon, as you're actually filling out the paperwork, and well, first off, are you guys actually wanting to make landfall to acquire some items?
Vegas, this was your.
Yeah, if our trap's supposed to work, then well, we definitely know that someone in the Alderanian camp is not being honest with us. So
And Zaylon is desperately trying to figure out a way to preserve the prince's name, but he's coming up with nothing to keep him out of this whole thing.
Yeah. But yes, I will make I'll at least make Planetfall to do the shopping.
On the trip down, I would actually like to go to my quarters and disassemble my lightsaber to inspect it.
Okay. We'll say, yeah, just roll mechanics, or is there a specific Jedi ability that you can use instead for lightsaber?
I was just figuring I would just use the Force to disassemble it, but if you want me to roll mechanics, I can.
Use the Force makes sense because, Jedi do the whole floating dismantle of the.
That's what I figured.
Sure, use the Force. We'll call it.
Okay, that is going to be a 16.
All right. Yeah, you carefully start to peel back the layers of the lightsaber as you sink into a quick meditative trance. And as the pieces pull apart and lightly deposit on the floor before you, yeah, these pretty much every single one of the components of your lightsaber is fractured or drained, corroded. Yeah, the guts of the lightsaber are completely shot.
I go to inspect the focusing crystal, the green Adigan crystal.
Mm-hmm.
Is it still together?
It looks like the strange thing about the crystal itself is that it's not a mechanical component. It doesn't react the same way as the mechanics have to whatever's happened here, but there's some sort of weird not being skilled in the art of anything like Shatterpoint, it's hard for you to put a name to it, but it's got like weird sort of.
Is it like drained or discolored?
Yeah, like a weird sort of branching, veined, almost weakness to its structure.
With more time, I'll investigate that a bit more. I'll pocket the crystal, assemble everything else, and then just leave it on my bed.
Okay.
So do you need anything to actually properly repair it?
At this point, I would need to rebuild the entire lightsaber from scratch.
Well, we're here to buy stuff for our weapons anyway. What would you need? Well, this is if you're telling me.
Well, I mean, if you're asking, then I'm telling, so.
Well, yeah, I'm specifically. Well, I guess I would ask how the meeting went, and then you would tell me, and then I would.
So, he gave me my lightsaber back, and it was more or less destroyed. The only explanation I can give, aside from the crystal, is that it somehow had some sort of major electrical charge run through it at some point. But the second lieutenant that had possession of the lightsaber during the whole time didn't have anything strange going on with it. Not only that, once I got my lightsaber back, he did say that something in my record may not reflect well on me, which seems very odd because for the most part, I've been a pretty good member of the Jedi Order. So there's somebody either on this ship or on the planet that may have done something. If not, then this may actually go all the way up to the top. Because you know my lightsaber was in perfectly good condition when we first met.
Yeah, it would have to have happened in the day and a half that we lost you to your master. I don't know if she inspected it or anything during that time.
Not as far as I was aware. And that lightsaber was on my person during the entire day. So, if anything, the window of opportunity may have been during that day. It's very possible.
Well, regardless, I think we have more cause now that the Jedi Order could, someone in the Jedi Order could possibly involved, because they're the only ones who control those records of you to try to tarnish your reputation. It also makes this more difficult because I was planning on using the Jedi Order's legitimacy in order to potentially get us stuff later down the line, but now with your tarnished record, that no longer seems possible. In any case, part of the plan of the bait was the fact that, as far as they know, you and I are the only ones armed, and between a mid-60s retired Bith engineer and a mid-20s Jedi Knight, you're by far the more prime target to take out first. But we can't necessarily count on you to be the.
You can always count on me.
Well, we're. No offense, but you're not at full strength without your lightsaber. And if we're gonna be walking into a trap, we're gonna need everyone at full strength. So I guess what components do you need to repair the lightsaber? Because this trip is about getting everyone armed, and I do mean everyone.
Not all of the components will be available. Let me just put it at that. I am fine with just a simple quarterstaff for the time being.
Okay.
You think that's doable?
I don't.
I just keep on hearing Beodur telling me, "No, you're still missing a lens."
Yeah. Not to mention other stranger things are happening with the focusing crystal that you might not be able to understand. And at the moment, I haven't investigated it farther than just knowing that it's altered somehow.
Okay. So a quarterstaff would be 65 credits. There's no licensing to that, so I assume you can just have a quarterstaff and be a Jedi holding a quarter. I don't know. This is like.
It wouldn't be the first time a Jedi has used a normal physical weapon.
Yeah, but hold on. Do I know Oden Ur? Let me do a knowledge lore.
Sure, go for it.
Would a 26 make me aware of?
Yeah, you know a little bit about the guy.
Yeah, I guess it has been about over a millennia, but it shouldn't arise too much suspicion.
I mean, it's obviously very rare within the Jedi, but there are a small sect of Force weapon users, so to speak, at the Jedi Temple in Coruscant. So
you have to have some Jedi without a lightsaber to make up for those crazy ones who use two.
Or the other crazy ones that have three and just use the Force to make them all around each other.
Yeah, those guys.
Treya.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So.
But at the moment, the lightsaber is going to be my concern. You don't need to worry about it. A simple quarterstaff will do fine for the moment.
Okay. So I guess my shopping list and my connections allow us to get them, but I would also like to at least attempt to take the time to attempt to get the proper licenses, at least for us to have these weapons. So a quarterstaff is 65 credits. So that's pretty much nothing. There's no restrictions on that. So I assume that doesn't require anything.
No,
it doesn't. There's no licensing on it.
Yeah. So next for our mechanic friend Zaylon, as much as I would love to get you a blaster pistol, I think a holdout blaster would be our best bet with you. How are you at hand?
He's proficient in. He's had training in basic weapons use being on the ship, but he also has proficiency in looking for it. I had it written down somewhere.
Somebody outfit me with a slug thrower.
I didn't think anyone used projectile weapons anymore.
They are good against Jedi.
They're terrifying, let me tell you.
Indeed, they are.
That actually works out quite well.
What?
Well, they're cheaper.
No, I mean, no crap. They're slug throwers. They don't need, anything too
And
much.
they're only restricted.
Only restricted.
Which,
Oh, here it is. I have point blank shot and weapon proficiency and pistols and simple weapons.
all right, so what would you prefer then?
He would prefer heavy not a heavy a powerful hand blast, a powerful single hand blaster, similar to something he would use on ship.
So a normal blaster pistol then?
Yeah, I would assume something that has a punch to it, but one hand.
That's also restricted, which is nice because the blaster, it's a little bit more, but unlike the holdout blaster pistol, it's not illegal. So we could get you that and get you the rest of licensings. You would just have to worry about.
I would think he would probably have been licensed because look, I have weapons.
Well, do you have like a license? Basically, do you have a license to carry it?
He's been trained on. I don't know. I guess that would be a GM call, but he did have basic training and from the company that used to own the Visaris, but I don't know.
I would assume that if you were outfitted, to well enough to repel small boarding parties, probably the different people had license to be carrying weapons.
So, not containing the background check to get them, we could, in like a few days, essentially, even with my connections, not only get a slug thrower rifle, a blaster pistol, and a quarterstaff, and get everyone squared away so that when we go on planet, and if they search us and find these weapons, we're not like carrying them illegally.
Sure. Mina, were you wanting to get anything?
Mina, upon hearing about Cassis's lightsaber, wants to check out her lightsaber.
Okay. You pull out, did you just try to activate it, or are you dismantle?
Yeah, just activate it, make sure.
All right. You activate the training saber, and it comes to life with a faint. The thing you immediately notice, however, is that the blade flickers slightly. It's not stable.
It's not uniform, probably.
Yeah, that's not good either. So I think Mina's going to let everyone know, and I think I might need a quarterstaff as well in the meantime until this is figured out.
Okay.
That can still be used. It's just that any other type of lightsaber contact with that would short the blade out for quite a while.
Okay.
I would use it in combat, but if there is any other use for it, then it may still be useful.
Yeah, that's why I'm kind of thinking having the quarterstaff as a backup here, since if I have to use a weapon, quarterstaff's probably the smarter way to go at this point.
I would agree.
Well, you said, Bill, now that I'm looking at it, that you wanted something a little beefier.
Something that's a simple one-handed weapon, but has some decent power behind it.
Okay. Let me just make sure heavy blaster pistol isn't that.
How much are grenades?
We're not getting grenades.
Oh, why not? Why can't I get like simple stun grenades? Huh?
Be a little bit more difficult to get those
Well, they're just restricted.
Stun grenades as opposed to like frag grenades.
Ion, ion and stun grenades are not restricted. They are restricted, but they're not military or licensed or illegal.
So, if you wanted to go that route, it just, even if something's not illegal, it might still make you more conspicuous. It's a matter of what balance you want to strike.
I'm already pretty
fair point.
conspicuous. Yeah. I'm a Juggernaut war droid.
Yep. Right, which is why I'm thinking a Juggernaut war droid with like a compartment for a slug thrower rifle is a lot less potentially
a compartment for a slug thrower, a rifle, meaning something like that's this big, if not bigger. All right, there's going to be a compartment for. Yeah, let me just shove this inside this bag of holding.
There aren't anything to laugh at, though. They're big.
They are big. That's the thing, and it's like you want me a compartment for this.
Yeah, and like a limb.
Could like make a new arm for him.
That's a whole droid part. I think that's like concealed. Like there's a concealed weapon, like droid part or whatever.
We do have a droid tech on the ship now.
Here's the thing. I have I've got like mounts on my arm, like quick release stuff that I can just swap weapons in and out. So there's that on me. But
Inspector Gadget.
Well, again, the idea is to be conspicuous. So if that's the case, then a slug thrower pistol.
Here's the thing: a slug thrower just on my back, that's fine. I can easily put grenades in like a compartment or whatever. That's easy to contain. A slug thrower rifle, on the other hand, not so much.
Yeah, well, that's why I'm thinking a slug thrower pistol is going to be a lot easier to modify into your chassis.
Okay.
I want to take a rifle. No offense.
Well, we can't be inconspicuous with you having a rifle on your shoulder. The idea with having like us lightly armed or inconspicuously armed is so that if we were going into the this galaxy's version of the corporate sector, we could actually go into there conceivably armed without them knowing. If your only weapon is a slug thrower rifle, and we go to a planet where you just can't walk around with that, you're going to be you're going to have to leave it on the ship, and you're not going to have a primary weapon for if we get into a fight.
Right, but if 000 has enough credits to get the rifle as well, then you can like integrate the pistol and then have the rifle for when you need to do a
exactly. That's what I'm thinking about. Yeah.
Okay.
Like that'd only be what? Like let's say case in point. Let's say I want to get that's 300 on top of
250 for the slug thrower pistol.
Exactly.
And then,
so that's 550, and then because none of those have any stun damage, anything, I want to kind of offset it with a stun grenade. Maybe like 2 of those. That would bring it up to 1010, I believe. Like that's about on par with some of the other weapons people are getting. Right?
Yeah.
That's on par with, yeah. I can easily fit like 2 stun grenades in my chassis and a pistol. That's not too hard.
Okay, well, I'll provide you with the pistol, and if you
that's fine. I can pay off the rest with the credits I have.
All right.
So let me put the stuff down.
And Fagris, were you getting a weapon?
I already have a holdout blaster.
Okay.
So the siblings both have their swords.
Yeah.
Does the tech have a weapon? Does the droid tech have a weapon?
Takira is not really a fighter. She knows droids. She's
okay.
Yeah.
All right. So out of the 2,000 I have allocated to that, yeah, we have enough to cover that. So Zaylon, you now have page 125. You now have a blaster pistol. Cassis and I'm sorry, I forget your name. Mina, you now both have a quarterstaff, which is page 123.
You need me to give you the credits for my share?
What?
You need me to give you the credits for my share?
Well, I was going to take it out of. I was essentially combining. I was going to take it out of my credits, which is basically my starting. I've added my starting credits to whatever credits we're getting from like official, just to cover all of our expenses on this trip. But if you're willing to pay, then that takes less of a hit on me, I guess.
Oh, so are we just gonna put the tab back on the Alderanian royalty and then?
Well, no. So I have it in two ways. So I have all the money that's been given to us from the Alderanian royalty, which at this point is about 2,100. That's going for crew. That is all going towards like stuff. This I'm paying out of my own fund, which I have technically combined with the other fund, but I'm not using that 2,100. So I've essentially combined my entire. I've essentially combined all of my credits in with the ship's credits for everyone that I'm just spending on everyone. But I have it budgeted out so where that 2,100 is not going towards anything other than what I've previously stated it's for, which is for like licensing, docking fees, fuel, and updated updated hyperspace charts.
It's appropriate that the BIP is the accountant.
65 credits.
Yeah,
Okay.
same here.
All right. So that's
Thing for
There's the stuff fund and the other stuff fund.
yeah, but it's I have a sheet and I'm keeping.
You tell me, man. I don't know the first thing about finances.
Is it the core rule book that the blaster pistol's in, or is it a different book?
Yeah. Again, if you want, I can get you. It's 250 credits extra. A heavy blaster pistol. It does 3d8 instead of 3d6. The only problem I have with that is it's a lot less conspicuous. And if you were trying to like hide it.
Well, I think Zaylon would prefer that because I would think that would be something he's more familiar with, and
it's also military, so it's going to be a little bit more, not necessarily difficult to acquire because I can get it. It's going to be difficult to get the actual licenses for you to carry it.
well, like I think that the game master said I already had the licenses.
No, you.
Well, as far as being able to, it's like the concealed carry permit or what have you. But if you're found with military grade weapons still, it's still going to raise some questions.
Yeah. Whereas if you're a blaster pistol, which is a license, and you provide a license that you have it, that I can spend like a couple days getting for you, all you guys, then that's a lot easier to get through like security with, if they find us with them.
I have a question.
Yeah.
How do we determine crit damage, or are we just doing crit based on nat 20? So
It's just nat 20 unless somewhere you get an ability that increases the crit range.
Yeah.
Always just double the damage that you roll, unless there's something else that increases that damage.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise,
nat 20 times 2, and that's the baseline stat for it.
I should probably get some clips from my slug thrower as well.
Which I always just like rolling more dice. So if it's a 3d6 and you roll a crit, it's like roll 6d6. Well, yeah.
I'm also assuming that all these weapons are coming with a requisite power pack, but additional power packs are going to be extra.
I kind of play that by, if it's the kind of power pack where you need to be counting shots, then yeah. If it's more like if it's a main gun where you just have like this huge power pack that can just kind of unload a volley, it's like tracking each shot probably isn't going to be,
Okay, it's 200 credits for, let's say, 100 slugs. So I'm going to get 5 clips, 100 slugs. That should last me a while. So
yeah, I guess you're getting in that case. You're getting a Zaylon, you're getting a blaster pistol because that'll be a lot easier to pass off with authorities if and when we're searched.
All right. Cassis, you had something?
Yeah, for both Mina and myself, is there a way that we could request Cortosis weave quarterstaffs?
That's
You can
expensive.
request.
What was that?
You can certainly request. It's that like cortosis is a fairly controlled substance, though.
What about a gather information to find a dealer of cortosis?
Sure, go for it.
I mean, I'm not seeing anywhere, as far as the rulebook states, on like cortosis either plating or just having a whole rod of it that's as long as a quarterstaff.
That yeah, like not only would you need to get special clearance for that, but like a full quarterstaff made out of cortosis is gonna be a lot more than 65 credits.
Yeah. Well, I don't think it mattered. I rolled a 13.
It's spent 1,000 credits, so that leaves only 1,250 left.
If only there was a Mandalorian that could lend us some Beskar.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna buy one more stun grenade. Just make that an even 1,000
right.
for me. So I don't even know my carrying capacity. I'm sure I'm fine.
All right. Well, so does everyone have their? In that case, does everyone have their the weapons written down and their stat? They know what pages to get the stats from.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm coming out of the corporal book, so it's not bad. So
I guess as well. I'll probably for you, Zaylon, also have to get you a concealed holster. Actually, no. What's the point of a concealed holster? Because it like.
Well, I was reading the top of the section. It's common for traders to have blasters, so I won't raise suspicion if it's just visible.
Well, it still depends on what the grade of the weapon is. If it's a military grade weapon, somebody might, if they're actually looking you over, be like, that's a powerful weapon. What you
Yeah.
doing?
Whereas so I guess a licensed blaster pistol. If he just had it on his hip, going through like a spaceport, would anyone pay him mind?
If they saw the weapon or like, can I see the license for that? And you hand it over. Okay, have a good day, sir.
Okay. So I guess you don't need a concealed holster. I would recommend getting one though.
They're just cool.
wait, do I take? Question: do I take any suspicion just having a rifle since I'm a soldier?
Yeah, you'd be carrying a rifle around.
You would still technically be noticed, and if somebody sees a droid with a big weapon, they might pause and investigate.
Let them investigate. I say we take them on.
I agree. That's more XP for us.
Zaylin, you have a holster as well, just a normal holster, page 135. It allows you to draw it as a move action instead of as a full action.
Wait till Tuesday.
I believe. Hold on, let me double check that.
Sounds right.
I like how this is second game without any action. I should say no fighting.
There has been a fight, but you guys have spent a lot of time looking around and buying stuff. So, yeah. It's not like the galaxy's dangerous out there or anything. You guys, you can get through a whole campaign without taking on anyone, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's not like it's called Star Wars. It's Star Trek right now.
Yeah.
The negotiations were sure.
But again, we're potentially walking into two traps once we get onto Brental. Now that we know that the someone in the Alderanian camps tried to stow concussion missiles on it, I definitely don't trust the Alderanians at this point. So I 100% think something's going down once we make planetfall and start offloading our cargo. Okay. The Corellians is still up in the air, but we're potentially walking into two traps, and I want us to be ready.
All right. So y'all do manage to make your way down to the planet and acquire your various goods, and you have easily noticed the entire time that you are being monitored. There are cameras swiveling over in your direction. There are people, security personnel just sort of keeping pace with you wherever you go, whatever shops you interact with. And as you acquire whatever licenses and weapons, just seem to be talking into comlinks, keeping their people appraised of your movements.
Mm-hmm.
But you are not halted, you are not challenged, and
You don't have to make an explanation.
not yet. And it seems as though you eventually make your way back up into orbit and board the Visari, which at this point has been relieved of any of the military-grade cargo.
Mm-hmm. Should have saved this, but we probably left the crew with the ship while we did all the shopping. Or at least the droids.
They all ran away.
Everybody still appears to be there when you get back.
Okay. I'm going to recommend that we do another check of the cargo just in case we don't have any more unintended stowaways.
Check if that has been pocketed or stolen, like by any of the crew.
Do you want to just take a 20 on that, or you want to roll for it?
12 plus. Wait. Am I rolling perception?
Yeah, perception.
Yep.
14. No, wait, not 14. 16. Jeez. I've been forgetting my ability modifier to all my rolls. Darn it.
Those are important.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know.
just
I
add them.
know. I was just being stupid earlier. Remember, I'm the stupid droid. Also, I double-checked the droid thing. Yeah, I do take a -2 to my ability modifier.
Okay.
So,
you do, however, get a +10 if the whole crew is helping scour the decks. Look through the rest of the goods. Everything else appears to be exactly what it says in the manifest.
Okay.
And the weird thing is, as you look over the manifest, it looks as though from every single source where you got the goods, because there were a few different, relief efforts, humanitarian organizations who contributed to this cargo. From each source, there appears to be roughly a third is what it says it was, and 2/3 is military stuff.
Yes.
Military. Wait. Okay.
So
Yeah.
definitely a broad conspiracy by the Alderanians, or someone in their camp.
Where it's probably one of the lesser houses trying to gain power during this kind of power struggle and what's going on.
Most likely, though.
To point out, it could be anyone. Doesn't necessarily make it the prince. There's
Yeah.
a lot of companies.
I never said it was the prince.
Yeah, but someone at Alderaan that was in the chain of command that got us these supplies, most likely not from any of the organizations, unless all of them have been infiltrated, most likely someone above them. But someone in the Alderanian camp somewhere is up to nefarious things.
Agreed. Am I still a robot, by the way?
Yes.
Yeah, you've been this whole time.
Okay.
Speaking of the prince, you actually get a call from his comm frequency as you get back to the ship.
Oh.
Right, I was like,
hello. Zaylin, do you want to take care of this, or?
We've been played.
What?
You're the comm guy. You said you wanted to be the comm guy.
Ah.
Okay, I would just like to listen in on the conversation.
I'm listening into it. I'm gonna feed myself into the system. So
I'm making sure that the communication.
You're not putting yourself in the system. That I've already locked you out.
Yeah. So just as a precaution, I'm making sure that they can listen in, but they can't actually say anything.
I was never going to say anything in the first place. I just wanted to listen.
No, I'm not either. I mean.
All right, just a precaution I'm taking.
Okay, so you're just taking this on your personal comm link?
I understand the paranoia. I just am not going to be stepping in.
Okay. Yeah. Senator Yorl, to what do I owe the pleasure?
So I have just spent the past few hours on various calls trying to clear up what I've been informed has befallen your ship. And I would like to profusely apologize.
Well, I guess we have to play along. Your apology is duly accepted. I ensure that you're also in the process of looking over into who possibly could have stowed thousands of tons of concussion missiles on a diplomatic mission to a humanitarian effort to Brental. Thankfully, my contacts and my smoothing of the authorities was able to mitigate a potentially disastrous situation.
That's good. And I'm afraid I have discovered that every single one of those organizations has had their computer systems compromised.
Hmm.
And
Well.
somehow, in this confusion, apparently someone switched out an inordinate number of crates, as you have discovered, carrying missiles.
Don't know how to respond to this.
I'm sure you can imagine, with Alderaan being the peaceful world that we proclaim ourselves to be to the rest of the galaxy, this is somewhat embarrassing.
I can imagine. I can imagine so, yes. Though words reached you, I'm assuming that it has reached a little bit of the galaxy's ears at large, though yeah, as well. Yeah.
Is your mission still intact? Are you able to... You're not being detained, are you?
No, as I said, my diplomatic skills was able to get us through the situation. Cooler heads thankfully prevailed. The offending missiles have, of course, been confiscated and, to my knowledge, destroyed. I guess that's a deception, isn't it? Because I don't know what's happened to them.
Are you trying to deceive?
As far as I guess as far as, would that be a correct statement? As far as I've known, that they've been destroyed.
Well, you say as far as you have known, so you're even admitting that you yourself don't know. Therefore, it's not a lie.
Okay. Right. He continues to apologize, but through the rest of it, you are getting the communication that since he was the one to set up this, this shipment, he feels personally responsible. And I assure you, I will be spending as much time as I'm able with my other senatorial and princely duties, trying to investigate this matter to whatever conclusion it has.
Please keep us informed of any investigation, and we'll also be we'll also try to ensure that this little debacle doesn't reach the ears of anyone farther than it already has. Not as like a threatening way, but in more as like an assurance way that, like, we're not going to go yapping and discrediting your name.
That would be appreciated. And if there's anything else I can do, I realize my help has not been all that helpful thus far, but I do wish to aid in your investigation however I can.
Thank you. We'll keep in touch.
Farewell. The image fades.
I didn't think it was a good idea to let them know that our Jedi don't have their lightsabers.
Dylan.
Vigorous. I think this goes without saying, although I am going to say it. And this is very likely also exactly what you're thinking. We can't trust him.
Yep.
Okay.
Dylan, what did you say the modifier on the holster was? I'm on the page and I don't see a modifier unless I'm completely missing it.
So no, the holster just allows you to, like, draw the weapon as like a move action instead of a full action.
All right, as move. All right, because I wasn't seeing that. Thank you. All right, so are we set off and ready to head to Brental? Is there anything else we need to do?
No. Maybe I should as we're leaving, kind of make as they've clearly monitored the situation, that we're a little bit spooked that we were of course a little bit spooked at the fact that we had been had and our any armaments that we were and it may look somewhat suspicious that we were purchasing armaments after having a full several crate loads of missiles, though that's only in our own concern, that someone is going to be very displeased at the fact that their attempted illegal smuggling of shipments didn't happen and may take out retribution on us. It's purely a defensive measure on our part against any anything such as that. To whoever's like monitoring us on the way. I guess that's persuasion, another one.
Oh
Yeah.
wait, do we actually have microphones and cameras installed?
You know you're being tracked and
Yeah.
your progress is monitored, but
There's nothing on the ship.
Yeah, the ship.
Well, yeah, I guess as we're being tracked and I'm noticing this, I'm just like making these comments and assuring whoever's following us that this is what they're for.
okay.
You're saying whatever planetary diplomat has been assigned to us.
Yeah, that like the only reason we're purchasing weapons is that we are I'm sure as you're well aware, someone's going to be very displeased that thousands of tons of missiles didn't get shipped, and if they tried to come at us, we want to be prepared for their anger, so to speak.
Okay.
That's a 21.
All right. Where did you seek out someone face to face for this, or was it just
I guess I would seek out someone face to face.
just very good, ma'am. We will let you be on your way now.
Excellent.
It appears as though whoever these planetary security people are, their orders are simply to observe.
All right, so I contact the flight control and tell them we're on our way.
Very well, Vassar, you are clear to leave the system.
I
Okay.
power up the engines and
Hold on. Physical science to astrogate this. Yep, dice fell. Well, it fell on an 11, so that's a 21.
Okay, and yeah, you're on a well-charted hyperlane, so the DC is not so high, and yeah, managed to shoot off once again through hyperspace. Someday you may even reach Brental, and
27 on piloting.
you're good.
So yeah, I guess we have the conversation of, yeah, we can't trust the Alderanian delegation, but I also make the point of we shouldn't tip them off that we don't trust them, which is why I was kind of polite and cordial with them.
Obviously.
On the comm. Yeah.
If anything, it may not even be Alderaan, but just the prince himself.
Mm-hmm. And if he's not, then someone close to him probably. And if he's not involved, he probably knows that as well, and is going to be if he's not involved and innocent, he's probably going to be aware of that as well, and that maybe we don't trust him, so he'll be understanding. And if he's not, then we just feed him what he already knows and play nice.
Right. The thing that's come to mind, though, is he may not even be involved with anything that happened at Brental to begin with, and he's just using this as a ploy to say that we, as the investigative team, have failed in order to depose somebody in power.
Well,
right.
The investigation team is a product of Alderaan itself. It would look bad on him if we failed. And he's after getting his mother reelected.
I don't
so that
think
would be
because he wasn't the one to suggest the task force in the first place.
But it's Alderaan who's heading the task force, who initiated it.
Then it would fall on the Queen's head.
Yeah. At this point, I don't suspect the prince in himself. I suspect the people around the prince, because it doesn't make sense for his reputation, for if he's like really on the out and out and probably going to lose, his family's going to lose power. It doesn't make sense for him to intentionally blemish himself like this. But you're correct in that we shouldn't trust the prince. I just don't think it's coming from the prince. I think it's coming from someone around him.
Although less bright people have ruled before, let me also point out that it doesn't necessarily mean that he's some evil mastermind if he somehow puts it upon other people to do his dirty work. Could still just fall on his head.
Yeah.
Regardless. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Mina.
I have another concern as well, and unfortunately, it's about the Jedi Order itself.
I was about to bring up
the record, about your record. How was that fabricated, or exactly what are they saying too?
Well, I don't have the record on hand. I would have to look that up if we were to ever go to Coruscant. But the thing that comes to mind is everybody on the Jedi Council is either suspect, which I find to be highly unlikely, or that it was, what's his name again? I'm so sorry.
the guy in the recording, that was Jedi Master Gwar Mamuri.
Gwar Mamuri. I'm going to write that down forever.
Well, enjoy eternity writing down Gwar Mamuri's name.
And we'll still call him Bill Murray.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm still going to call him Bill Murray. It's very possible that he still had access. My question is, how did he know that I was placed on this delegation? And if Mina's record was also altered in some way?
I definitely think that's something we look into. Though, again, I think Coruscant is a hotbed for potential, for us getting a hotbed of potential enemies. Though I would like to stay as far away from Coruscant as possible.
And a hotbed of potential answers. You realize everything converges there eventually.
Right. But for the moment, I'm highly suspect of the Alderaanian and the Jedi camp. No offense to you, Jedi.
None taken. If anything, there's got to be at least one person on the Jedi Council that could answer for this. At the moment, I will have to do my own personal investigation on that matter, and then I can come to the floor with that information to all of you. But at the moment, I'm as in the dark as you guys are. I hope that in any case would bridge the divide between us.
And it's very evident that the Jedi Council isn't giving you all the information. You learned that the other day at the conference.
So Leia specifically said that if she were to give me any more guidance on this matter, then it would be seen by anybody else that they are seeding the investigation and somehow manipulating us. So I've got nothing to go on.
Well, they're obviously manipulating us by not telling us everything they know.
We also have to try to figure out who exactly sabotaged our lightsabers, considering they've been mostly on us and they were working at the peace talks.
And it makes no sense how yours is a lot less functional now when it has never left your body.
Oh.
As for me, I mean, there's obviously some concern with the 1 second lieutenant, but I don't think that he would have been smart enough to be able to disable any of the components. Let alone,
has anyone been informed what happened to Travis's lightsaber?
No.
So I'm gonna. What happened to your lightsaber, Jedi?
It was fried, for lack of a better term. And that does not necessarily happen easily either. Typically, we make our lightsabers as insulated and complete as we possibly can, for lack of a better term.
So does that mean you're just crap at making lightsaber?
That wouldn't explain why both of their lightsabers shorted out. What I think, and actually, I'm wondering about doing a knowledge either physical science or technology. Would it be possible to like have a device that would like that would someone could trigger and like essentially short out lightsabers from like a short distance while we were at, say, the in the immediate aftermath of that attack. Someone there with a special device to short out lightsabers could have used that.
This is a lot more than just simply shorting out a lightsaber. It completely destroyed all of the internal components. I'm actually going to go and bring the lightsaber back from my quarters, disassemble it, and show them just how destroyed it actually is on the inside.
I've got a question.
This does not happen normally from any sort of electrical device.
Can Leon do a mechanics check and
I was about to say that as well.
make out of it?
Who wants to take point on that? Who has the higher modifier?
I got 9 on mechanics.
So you can go ahead.
All right, 000, do you want to aid?
I'll aid, even though I do not like Zalon. Because he does not like me.
Does it mean like, what does aid mean exactly?
You get a +2 if he makes his roll.
So just +11 to whatever your roll is.
Yeah.
26.
Okay. Yeah, Zalon, as you look over the pieces here, you're actually assessing that Cassis is only half right. There is the fact of like being some sort of power surge frying it. That's partly true, but it also looks as though somehow the actual components have just decomposed exponentially.
Would it be like some airborne acidic that got to it that fried the electronics, which allowed it to fry, but also itself decomposed it?
Potentially, but as you're looking over the pieces, you actually are assessing that the actual makeup of the components appears to have altered, and you're recognizing actually the kind of structured chaos of the components. You know, normally for mechanics, there's like the very strict veins, the lines that the structure and the components follow. You're kind of more so feeling that this is akin to like an organic circulatory system, as like how the very components have been altered, and you recognize this as actually being similar in makeup to the droids that attacked the Peace Summit.
And I pull out the part from the droid I kept and tell them about the similarities.
Okay.
So this isn't even my lightsaber.
No, it's yours, but it's whatever infected the droids also infected your lightsaber.
And you've had the droid with you this whole time.
The droid part.
I disassemble my blaster pistol and look for anything wrong with it.
It doesn't appear to be compromised.
What about me? What about myself? Can I run a
yeah, you do
on myself?
Yeah, you basically perform a self-diagnostic 000. Your systems seem functional, intact.
You were not very sure about that for a second.
Does this droid portal have? Does it look like it's anyway still live and maybe transmitting a kind of infection?
It looks completely inert.
All right.
I have never heard of any sort of mechanical infection before.
Sorry, what was that, Cassis?
Yeah, I have never once heard of any sort of mechanical infection before. So that would be something in your alley. Otherwise, I don't know.
It's biological based in some facet I don't quite fully grasp.
I'm really wondering. Hold on.
Mina, could you turn on your lightsaber one more time to see if this is some kind of infection, if it's making it worse?
Yes. I go ahead and activate my lightsaber.
The blade ignites. It's still intact, though flickering, and you don't notice that it has degraded any further, but it could be that just not enough time has passed.
Perhaps we should open that lightsaber as well and see if there's anything in there.
I think that's worth a look.
Yes.
Okay.
So I'll disassemble my lightsaber.
And
This is
do I
all
make
happening.
another mechanics check?
Just for clarification, this is all happening after we've made the hyperspace. So we're in hyperspace while this is happening.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just make sure we made that jump and we're just not loitering in space.
Yeah. Well, where on the ship are you? Are you in the main cargo bay? Are you in the bridge?
I guess we're in like a meeting area.
Okay.
Well, if we're taking apart equipment, I would suggest us move to the workshop or something.
Yeah. Leave one of the crew at the helm or the astromechs to alert us if
He
anything.
nods the whole time.
Yeah.
So I'm doing another mechanics check for this lightsaber, or
You can do that, or Mina, you can use the force or mechanics to dismantle it.
Let me use the force since that has a better one. Oh, good. I got a 15.
All right. As you sink into a quick meditative trance and focus on the components of this training saber, you didn't actually construct this yourself, so it's a little more difficult to concentrate. You're not as familiar with the pieces, but you are able to reach into the inner workings of it and slowly twist, pull, and it starts to separate, floating there in the air. And then small, about pea-size motes of some sort of metallic makeup start shooting across the chamber towards they start making sort of zigzagging approaches towards each of you, and that is where we're going to pick up next time.
Infected the whole ship.
I think I know what that is.
The Jedi to contain them.
I've never seen these before. This is exciting.
Yeah, this is.
Well, luckily,
I love it.
I think I know what it is. Like what you're kind of going for.
well, luckily we're in the mechanics workshop.
Yeah, there's all kinds of mechanical equipment.
I hope I'm not in that room. God damn it!
Hide your droids. Hide your kids.
It'll be interesting to see what happens next.
Oh boy.
So yeah, thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see what happens next time.